Doc, thank you. The final race of the NASCAR Nationwide Series season means different things to different people. For some of the double-duty drivers, it's a final payday and play day, a chance to race with nothing more at stake than to just go for broke. For some of the series regulars, it's the last chance to make an impression or maybe secure a ride or sponsor for 2010. And for one, it's a chance to claim a championship in the finest style possible. Kyle Busch will lock up the 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship simply by starting this 300-mile race. When you look back at the year and start recalling the road to this title for Kyle, a lot of words come to mind. One is eventful.
Whether you like him or don't like him, there's no possible way you can't say that he's not one of the best talents to ever come driving-wise in this series.
You know him, man. If it ain't spectacular, it ain't no fun.
I got it!
Woo! Everybody's going to get a piece of guitar tonight.
Winning twice in one day, Kyle Busch makes NASCAR history.
Boy, love him or hate him, you got to respect his driving.
Thanks, guys. Woo! Yeah!
And there comes Joey Logano by Kyle Busch.
I can't believe it, dude. He's driving away from me.
Kyle Busch now becomes the all-time single-season lap leader.
How many times this year has Kyle Busch dominated only to lose it late?
I'm so tired of second it up. I suck.
There was a problem in the 18 pits.
What'd you say about coming back, Jeff?
We rolled a tire.
We did what?
We rolled a tire. We had a tire getaway.
The last pit stop. Every time I come to this damn racetrack, y'all suck.
And on the racetrack goes Kyle. Logano slips it. Keselowski to the bottom. Keselowski to the lead. Problems for Kyle Busch.
Amazing. Kyle Busch with a problem. He had it wrapped up.
Grab a jack, can you go back over there, get it up? Man, drop it, let's go. Just for the wall time, man, we got to go.
Rowdy Busch digs to the bottom at a turn 4 all by himself. Rowdy Busch will win.
He's the only one that has come here with a gun today. Everybody else is fighting with sticks.
Kyle Busch makes it 3 in a row at Texas Motor Speedway. Is indeed smacked down the competition today here at Texas. Kyle Busch rolls to his 4th straight win.
10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
ESPN welcomes you to NASCAR Countdown for the final race of the 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series, the Ford 300 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in Homestead, Florida. No one would be surprised if Kyle Busch ended up holding 2 trophies at race's end, the championship trophy and the one for winning this race. Look at the numbers the 24-year-old Las Vegas native has put up. 8 wins, 19 top 2 finishes. That's finishing first or second in over half the races. He's led the championship since mid-April and will win his first NASCAR championship in just a short while. It's always a big day when the big trophy's in the house, and it never hurts to have palm trees, water, and sunshine around you. Nice setting to cap the season, and a nice setting for our ESPN pit studio. We welcome you inside for a championship edition of NASCAR Countdown. Alan Bestwick with Rusty Wallace, Brad Daugherty, and Ray Evernham. We're going to crown a champion today. What do you think Kyle Busch is feeling like right now?
Right now, it's totally relieved. He is so relieved that he can finally say, I've won my very first NASCAR championship. I mean, this guy's been so good this year, 8 wins, all that type of stuff. But now, this very last race, he knows as soon as he hits that key, he's got this baby locked up, and he can do what he does best, and that's hammer down and go try to win another race and go out really in style.
Yeah, he has just totally dominated this entire season in the Nationwide Series. And we've heard Kyle Busch speak to his own personality of not being satisfied. So I think that puts him in a perfect position today to go out, try to win another race. But at the end of the day, he will get to revel in the championship glory that he's worked so hard to put himself in the position to win.
And he's excited. He's getting some jewelry, man. He's getting his first NASCAR championship ring, but it's not going to be his last.
No,
is that why you wore that tie today? Because of jewelry day?
It's championship weekend and my championship
tie.
Check that out.
The
Look
jewels
what
on that tie.
Next to.
All right.
Plugs it in.
Gold, man. You're shined up. You're looking good, dude.
Got gold at that.
All right. We speculated on what Kyle's thoughts might be right now. Why don't we ask him? He's with Vince Welch.
And let's find out indeed. What are your thoughts, Kyle, as you get ready to start this race? Just starting the race clinches your championship, and does it allow you to approach the race a little bit differently, knowing that you've already clinched it?
A little bit, not much. You know, we've approached all the races this year the same, just trying to go out there and win the race and see what it boils down to at the end, and if we have a shot, we try to go for it. So nothing will change that here today. The Z-Line Camry was pretty good, qualified better than expected. So, you know, we'll see what we have here coming down towards the end of the stretch and in the end of the race, and see if we can't win one.
We've talked a lot about on our show the highlights for you this season. What's been the highlight that stood out in your mind as you look back on this championship season?
I mean, there's so many. There's a lot of them. A lot of wins, a lot of seconds were really good. You know, probably Phoenix, the setback we had there, and, you know, Bristol, we had a setback, and a couple of the other races were some disappointing ones that we were able to bounce back from. You know, those are the races that win you a championship, so those are the ones to be most proud of. But in all, the whole season, all the guys have done such an awesome job, and everybody that's been a part of Joe Gibbs Racing this year on the nationwide team has done a phenomenal job for me and the 20 team. We've won some races, a lot of races, and so we just want to come out here for one more and, you know, send it to the house.
And the one thing Kyle didn't mention, he's also driven the wheels off of it this season as well. You'll hear more from Kyle Busch a little bit later tonight. He's our in-race reporter. Let's go to Jamie Littles with Carl Edwards.
Well, we just heard from Kyle Busch, and basically once the green flag drops, he is the champion. With that said, Carl, you being second in points, how do you approach tonight's race?
We just go out here with our Ortho Fusion and just try to win. I mean, that's all we can do. You know, and I was thinking about trying to get some officers to, you know, put some cuffs on them or something. But the deal is that 18 teams earned their spot. I mean, they've done a great job. I'm really proud of my 60 team. It's not that we haven't done well. It's just that they've done, you know, just an amazing job on that 18. So we'll just go out here and have fun. We got a great race car, qualified great. It's one of my favorite racetracks, and the biggest thing will be to get a win from Ford here at Ford Championship Weekend.
You and your new crew chief, Mike Kelly, you guys have only been together 2 weeks, Carl. You guys knocked off a win last weekend. You guys are on the pole tonight. How have you been able to click so quickly?
Well, you know, I've been fortunate this season to have Dan Stillman and Mike Kelly here, you know, these last couple races, and I've known Mike for a while, and he's a really fun guy. We've been having a blast, and you know, we just got good people at the shop, and everybody's working hard. You know, all the guys understood the changes, and that we're trying to be the best we can for next year across the board with all these nationwide teams, and just proud of everybody's hard work.
All right, thanks, Carl. He won the race here 1 year ago, went on to win the Cup race, only driver to ever sweep here. Alan?
Okay, Jamie, thanks. Carl Edwards starting on the pole today. Kyle Busch going to take the green flag in 5th position. We're looking at some of those numbers for Kyle Busch before and talking among ourselves over how to put into perspective what he's accomplished this year.
Well, if you look at just the what-ifs, I mean, you've got 8 wins, 11 second-place finishes. What if those wasn't for flat tires or things like that, and he had 20 wins? I mean, he's close to 20 wins, and I don't think that we've seen any driver in any series be that dominant since the days of Richard Petty.
Yeah, you're right. If you look at those second-place finishes, I mean, you can go back to when he drove for Hendrick Motorsports. He had 9 second-place finishes there, so he has always been up near the front. He's truly a championship-type race car driver who's going to get his due today. There's no pressure today, so he'll probably perform at even his best because of that.
And putting the season of Carl Edwards into perspective, strong, but...
Yeah, strong, real strong, but just strong too late. I mean, Carl Edwards had a fast car all year long. Look, he's got the pole for tonight's race. He won Phoenix, Arizona a week ago, but he had a lot of inconsistency through the year, and that's what's really killed him into points. I do expect he's going to pick up strong next year because he's letting off this year on a high note. He's running strong right now. I expect him to get the Daytona, be hot down there, and continue on. But Carl Edwards, hot too late.
Wouldn't be surprised if he took the trophy home today, though, as the winner of this race. Again, Carl Edwards with a lot of success on this track in the past. Now, something to keep an eye on as today's race unfolds. Will words lead to actions? Last Saturday at Phoenix, Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski got together. First, Hamlin in the 20 nips the back of Keselowski's car, so when they got down on the other end of the racetrack, Keselowski gave him the payback. Well, after Hamlin got the worst of it, he said he'd fix things in this race today. Well, maybe not. More on that when NASCAR Countdown continues. Closing in on the start of the Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Among the oval trackers getting ready to go, a couple straight liners. Robert Height just won the NHRA Funny Car Championship a week ago. And John Force, one of the all-time drag racing greats, on hand here at the Ford 300 at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Now, the officials in the control tower will no doubt be keeping an eye on the cars of Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin today after they tangled yet again in last week's Phoenix race. and Hamlin hinted at Homestead revenge.
We're back to green flag racing. That's going to open the door for Harvick. That's the first time he's been this far back. Oh, he turns Hamlin. Gets into Hamlin.
I tell you what, they ain't going to do nothing about him, I am.
So there's what Brad's mad about a little bit.
That just looked like a lot of history is what that looked like.
Ooh, baby.
What happened there with Denny?
You know, I was going to return the favor, and when he did it to me, I saved it, and when I did it to him, he didn't save it. There's a lot of guys that have a lot of chips that they're going to cash in. I'm just going to be the first of the pay window.
Sunday at Phoenix, NASCAR officials called Keselowski in for a little meeting. Chairman Brian France, when asked about it here Friday, said this.
We don't go into private discussions we have in the trailer with our drivers, but it's suffice to say that what we want is drivers who are driving hard, that are driving to win, and when that happens, you're going to have some situations where there's contact. We're a contact sport, and we're going to. And you didn't see us over respond when that happened. There are limits to hard driving and rivalries and whatever, but we certainly want them. We know how important they are, and we're going to do what we can to encourage them with some obvious limits as we go along.
Now, as these things always work out in racing, much to our delight, when they double the field up for the start, Denny Hamlin in that 11 car will be on the outside of row number 3, and Brad Keselowski in the 88 will be on the outside of row number 4. Right behind him for the start. It's always the way it works out in racing.
Sir.
Now, Denny's words were in anger last week at Phoenix, but we don't expect to see anything here, right?
He's still angry.
Yeah, I know that, but
if I was him, I don't think I'd blatantly hit him with NASCAR staring at him because he already told NASCAR he's going to hit him.
Yeah.
He's told everybody. I mean, I'd save it for a real big race, like maybe Daytona where more people are watching, maybe, you know? I mean, but I think it's going to happen, and if it happens today, maybe NASCAR won't say nothing about it because they do like controversy. Controversy isn't bad, guys.
Hey, that's what makes it great. You got blazing bad Brad Keselowski against dastardly Denny Hamlin. That's what I want to see. I want to see Jack Ingram and Bob Presley getting after one another. Dale Jarrett and Jack Ingram. Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Bodine. That's what makes this sport great. Let these guys have some personality. You don't want to see anyone get hurt, but a little rubbing, a little gouging, yeah, man, that's what we want.
And big race. You drivers are so full of it. You took us out at Richmond. I'm still mad at you for that.
Back to the
right, you spun Gordon out at Richmond. We were leading the points. It was the same way. And I talked to Denny.
Where'd that come from?
I think if Denny gets a shot today, he's going to take it because Denny said, hey, look, Ray, I'm not mad. I'm not angry, but it's 4-0. He's taken me out 4 times. I've not taken him out 1 time. The scales have got to be tipped back the other way a little bit.
Where'd
he
this
said, but
come
something's got
from,
to be done.
How did that get thrown in
He
there?
took us out, laid us right out.
Let me tell you one thing.
admitted it.
while they settle this behind the
Gordon
scenes...
had it coming.
Stop it, I'm trying to talk. Stop it, I'm trying to talk. While they settle this behind the scenes in the studio, let's hear from the 2 drivers involved. Dave, help.
Let's go.
Plenty of help down here. Brad, after all that happened last week, how do you focus on today's race just to race it?
We've got great cars, and that's probably the biggest thing. Just focus on having fun, getting a strong run out of the GoDaddy Chevrolet. My last race with Junior Motorsports, and no matter what happens today, I'm just really proud of the opportunity I've had and all the guys that I've had. Just very fortunate to be where I'm at, and it's been a lot of fun, so we're going to have fun with it, but we'll just have to see how the race plays out. Either way, I think it'll be fun.
Fast race car. We'll see how Brad does. Shannon?
Well, thanks to Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski, we definitely have a new storyline, a little bit of a rivalry here in the Nationwide Series. Your crew chief told me today you are interested in going out there and getting a win. But what do you think is going to happen when you guys get close to each other on the track, especially because you're starting nose to tail?
Well, I mean, my first job is to win the race, and I've won a Nationwide Series race and a pole every year the last 2 or 3, 4 years, and today's my last chance. I got to win. I got to get a win today. But just thank everyone for CJM and putting me in the car. But as far as with him, I mean, I'm just gonna have to race him, extremely hard. I've got to think about winning the race, but he's definitely not gonna get an inch, especially for me.
All right, this is CJM's, their last race of the season, and they're still unsure about sponsorship next year. How important is it for you and for this team to get a win here today?
That's very important. We need some good TV time. I can't tell you this whole CJM group how underrated they are as a race team. Paul Wolf does a great job crew chiefing, but it goes beyond that. From the car chief to the guys that work in the shop, they do an amazing job. They put a brand new car together for this weekend's race, and I went to the shop and sat in it, and I mean it's as pristine as anything that Gibbs has put out on the showroom floor.
And Denny Hamlin, he'll roll off 6th today. Alan?
All right, we'll keep an eye on how that all plays out today and try and keep Brad in his seat. Our J-Ski News and Notes now. You get to talk again here, Rusty. Rusty Wallace Racing announced Thursday they'd switch to Toyota for next year.
Now, Chevrolet has just pulled all the involvement in racing, basically, in the Nationwide Series, and Toyota's been really getting it done. I met with the guys. I love what they got to offer. Look, Chevrolet's done a great job for us, but you know what? I am looking forward to next year, and we're still trying to find some sponsorship for Brendan Gaughan and the 62. I feel confident that we'll find it.
In other Wallace news, Mike and Kenny Wallace will be back in the Nationwide Series next year full-time. And congratulations to Kevin Harvick, who won the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race here last night, and his team locked up that series owner's title after Ron Hornaday won the driver's title for KHI a week ago. One other note, a tip of the cap to the Nationwide Series Thanksgiving Food Drive. Donations collected were delivered to a North Carolina food bank on Wednesday of this week by drivers Mike Lynette and Austin Dillon, trying to help out some of those in need in this Thanksgiving season. And we salute those who donated and those involved. We are counting down to the final race of the NASCAR Nationwide Series season. Besides Kyle Busch, how about some other drivers to watch?
Yeah, Ryan Newman, he is really good here, and he should have a good race today. Look for him to get up front.
Starting on the front row for Kevin and Delana Harvick. And Jeff Burton in the Children's 29. This team's been coming back around lately. Burton starts third. Matt Kenseth there with him. He's another guy to keep an eye on today as well. The season finale for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. The Ford 300 upcoming at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We're coming right back to try and keep Rusty and Brad apart.
Ray Rusty said use it.
This week on ABC's Saturday Night Football, a very important matchup between the Oregon Ducks and the Arizona Wildcats, each team controlling their own destiny in their quest for the Pac-10 title and a lead position for a Rose Bowl berth. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Some parts of the nation will see Kansas take on Colt McCoy and the number 3 ranked Texas Longhorns. Go to ESPN.com and search maps to find the game in your area. And our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. As we get into our what to watch for, first thing to watch for is guys using up the right side of their cars as they run the high line around this track. To show us the tools of the trade to fix that damage, we go to our Craftsman Tech Garage and Tim Brewer. Mr. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. The NASCAR folks took a page out of the Cup Series and let the NASCAR Nationwide Series put the energy-absorbing foam in the right side. What that does makes the car a lot steadier. But, again, when you bounce off the wall, you're going to come in, tire changer, he might actually come in and beat the fender out. Or you can take a Roush roller and roll the fender out. But Rusty Wallace, he prefers the ball bat because he can literally roll the fender back off the tire, and after the race, if somebody puts you in there, he's going to find out who did it, and he's going to use this ball bat.
All right, Brewer. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Speaking of rim riding, this track has progressive banking, 18, 19, 20 degrees, and so we'll see a lot of guys using the top of the track.
And they do that because there's a little bit of grip up there. This place sits in the sun, but the wall provides some shade. There's a little bit of grip up there. They get these Nationwide cars up there and keep that momentum up, and they'll use that last 6 inches. If they use 7 inches, you see that, and that slows the car back down.
And yes, the footage there, some day, some night, this race will start in the daylight and finish under the lights after sunset. Now, something new today for the drivers to contend with they haven't had to contend with here before.
Yeah, brand new pit procedure. They used to enter the pits off an access road off turn 3. You see it right there. But now the new rule today is they can enter the pits off of turn 4 and come directly down in the pit area, and when they make their pit stop, they can use the access road leaving turn 1. But right there, that could be a hot spot. A lot of people are going to look at it. I went to NASCAR and I talked to Robin Perriman and I said, why are you changing the rules right now? He said, Rusty, we really think that under green flag pit stops, cars used to lose about 2 laps before using access road. Now, we think they'll only use 1 lap. We think it's going to make for a much more competitive race. And right there is the access road leaving the pits. You do have to stay on that leaving, but you can come off the racetrack off of turn 4. We think that's going to be better.
A couple of people to watch for during today's race. Even though the championship's going to be decided when Kyle Busch starts the day, some other points positions are up for grabs.
Yeah, I got two really interesting races. You got Bliss and Allgaier for 5th. Then you got this young man, Michael Annette. He's racing for 10th. He's going to start in the back of the field, had a spin, so he's got to go back to 42nd. But he is racing Kenny Wallace, Tony Raines, and Michael McDowell for that 10th spot. There's only 50 points that separates all of these guys, and it's one of the most important battles because everybody inside the top 9 can't fall out of the top 9. But this position can change, as we can see throughout the race and throughout the day.
That was his spin earlier today as he was looking to gain his spot in the field. Now, 10th is tight in points, and 5th is tight in points as well. And this is a really different story.
It's a good story between Mike Bliss and Justin Allgaier. Mike Bliss started the season in that #1 car for James Finch. They had a parting of ways. Mike was able to keep his points up by driving several different cars. He's put together a string of top 10 finishes in that CGM Motorsports or CGM Racing, number 11, which Denny Hamlin's driving today. And now he's back in to finish the season to try and get that 5th place in points in the #1. I say the pressure's on James Finch and those guys to give Mike a good car today.
What about that, Brad? A guy kicks you out of the car. Okay, you drive somebody else's. Now you're doing good. He wants you back in.
I'll tell you what, no blister. He can flat get it done around this racetrack. He's always been good here at Homestead. He was good even all the way back to the old trucks when he drove Truck Series here at this racetrack. So I think he has a good chance to get up there and score himself possibly a win here today at Homestead.
All of this, of course, secondary at the moment to that trophy being won by Kyle Busch. The minute he takes the green flag in this race, he will mathematically eliminate any other driver from being able to overtake him with the point advantage he has now and the differential that the maximum differential that there is in the race. Kyle's been great on these mile-and-a-half tracks this year. Wouldn't surprise me to see him win the thing.
No, I think it's right. That's exactly what he's thinking. He knows he's going to win the championship. He knows that's done. I expect him to go out and try to dominate this race. He loves mile-and-a-halves, and these Gibbs Toyotas have been awful fast on this style of racetrack.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier and Brendan Gaughan as well. Both of those guys are leading candidates for Rookie of the Year. They both had outstanding seasons. We'll see how that race works out at the end of the race today and the end of the year this year, but both of those young men had an outstanding season.
Big day for Kyle today. I'm telling you, he's going to like winning this championship. He's going to like what it feels like, and next year he's going to be a threat to beat Jimmy Johnson.
All right, so Kyle Busch again starting in the #5 position, getting ready to clinch a championship, and then see if he can clinch that championship in the finest style possible. He locks up the title by starting the race. He'll hold 1 trophy at the end of the day. Will he hold 2, the one they give out for winning this Ford 300? Sun's beginning to set, track conditions going to cool, the green flag's going to wave, and we're going to get down to deciding the final race of the season at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in just a few minutes.
Can't believe Rusty spun, Gordon.
The final race of the NASCAR Nationwide Series for 2009, the Ford 300, about to begin at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. 43 drivers going 300 miles for one final shot at a trophy for this season. A win in the finale could be huge for so many. Drivers without a ride for next year, teams without a sponsor. For those who have their plans in place, it's an opportunity to spend the next 3 months on that high that, for a racer, only comes from being the first to the checkered flag. Let's go trackside for today's opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Special Operations Command South Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. And remain standing as Pastor Pedro Garcia of Calvary Chapel of Kendall offers today's invocation.
And let's pray together. Father, we do thank you so much for this beautiful day you've given to us. It is a great day to be alive and breathing and racing here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We pray for the protection of all the drivers and team members. Be with them, Lord, as they race around the Speedway. We thank you for these, the greatest fans in all of sports. Protect us and keep us as we enjoy this race. We thank you for the armed forces who are represented here on this platform. We thank you for all they do in protecting us, Lord, and keeping the freedom that we so enjoy. And last but not least, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, whom you sent to die upon a cross so that those who believe in him can have life and life to the full. We love you. We thank you. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome local jazz artist Johnny Holiday.
So the last race of the season about to begin. No question, the man of the day is Kyle Busch, about to become a NASCAR champion. Boy, would he love to top his celebration by winning the race, too. Let's get reports from pit road before they fire him up, starting with Dave Burns.
Well, Kyle Busch only needs to start the engine and basically roll off pit road to clinch this championship. And this week, crew chief Jason Ratcliffe told his team, you know what, even before that happens, you can start celebrating. Why is that? No cutting of the cake, no letting off of fireworks or anything like that, but you have earned the championship as a result of even what happened at Phoenix. Believe it in your heart, and you can begin the celebration already. Shannon?
Dave, chasing Carl in the points is Brad Keselowski. Now, Keselowski has two different views of this race today. Number one, chasing the 60 car and closing that 60-point gap that currently separates them. And number two, the view right out his front window, which will be the number 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin and Keselowski have created quite a rivalry in the Nationwide Series. And with this being the last race of the year, there's no reason to think things won't heat up here under the Florida sun. Jamie?
It has been 15 races since Mike Bliss was fired from this very team, the team he is racing for tonight. Yes, I said he was fired, and he's back today. Now, despite that, he's driven for 5 different teams, and he is currently 5th in the points. Now, on Monday night, it's the Nationwide Banquet. Only the top 5 teams get to go. So in order for Mike Bliss to maintain that top 5 spot, he has to stay in front of the rookie, Justin Allgaier. Vince?
Well, Jamie, Rookie of the Year battle between Justin Allgaier and Brendan Gaughan is tight. There's only 8 points that separate the two. Now, the points is not the only and lone determining factor between determining who indeed is the Rookie of the Year. But Allgaier and Gaughan both know that the driver that finishes with the most points is probably going to have a leg up in being named Rookie of the Year. Both drivers want to finish the season on a high note, and the Rookie of the Year award may be the reward for the better day. Alan?
All right, Vince, thank you. Those stories and more on the final episode of NASCAR Nationwide Series Racing 2009. The engines fire in South Florida next.
Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami is brought to you by Ford. Drive one. Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. And Verizon Wireless. Verizon customers, text JSKI to 4ESPN to submit a question to NASCAR insider JSKI. Standard text messaging rates apply.
ESPN's exclusive season-long coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series wraps up today with the finale from the Homestead-Miami Speedway, the Ford 300, getting set to unfold on a beautiful afternoon in South Florida. It is a Ford on the pole for today's race. Carl Edwards had a better idea in qualifying.
Yeah, he looks really good right now.
Put that car on the pole, the number 1 spot. He's buckling in and getting ready to go. And Carl Edwards will lead this field off to the green flag. Meanwhile, as soon as this race does start, it will be Kyle Busch claiming the championship. He will mathematically eliminate all the others as soon as he takes the green flag on the racetrack. So Kyle Busch will be celebrating the championship presentation. Will be his at the end of the race. He'll get the big trophy at the end of the day. Now, they're about to get the cars fired up here, and a Ford champion race driver is about to give the command. Robert Hight clinched the NHRA Funny Car Championship a week ago out in Southern California. He is here in South Florida today to say those famous words to get this field roaring away.
Race fans, are you ready? The time is now. It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome 2009 NHRA Full Throttle Funny Car Champion, Robert Hight.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Crank them up, gang. Parker got you loud. Clear. Fired up. Fired up. High, bud. Parker, Roger. Up here, look at 42. Looks pretty good. Let's keep around the track all day. 200.
4, thank you, Roger. Have a little trouble here, radio, but we'll figure it out.
After right blowers, you're loud and clear. We can hear you.
4, thank you.
As we get set to go racing, it is time for us to head upstairs to 3 men who've tried their best to support the local stone crab fishing economy this week. Dale Jarrett, Andy Petrie, and Marty Reed, gentlemen.
And we succeeded quite well. Thank you very much, Alan. And as we come topside, you know, we've talked about a lot of stories throughout the first 30 minutes in countdown. The one we are sort of keeping our eyes on early will be Denny Hamlin and, of course, Brad Keselowski, because they're going to be starting right in front of each other. And I go back to something that the legend NFL football player. Johnny Unitas always said right before every game, talk's cheap, let's play.
Hey, with all the talk that's been going on how Denny Hamlin's going to get Brad Keselowski back, if I'm Brad, I think I'm just going to go down in turn 1 and dump him. He's starting right behind him. He can take care of this problem right off the bat.
Hold on here. He's battling for second in the points still. He has a shot at finishing
That's
second.
why he doesn't need to be worried about getting wrecked. He can just take care of it right now.
Now we see why you were on the pit box and not driving these race cars. I can tell that for sure.
There's one other guy in this mix, the 18 of Kyle Busch. He's going to be starting right alongside of Denny Hamlin. Remember, he's not real thrilled with Brad Keselowski, who's right behind him in the next row. And Kyle is going to be our in-race reporter. And Dale, let's talk to him.
Kyle Busch, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
10-4, man. Gotcha.
Okay, Kyle, our first question for you comes from our ESPN mailbag. And Brooke in Pearl City, Hawaii says, congratulations on winning the nationwide title. How do you feel at this moment knowing that you are the nationwide series champion?
Well, that's pretty cool, man. We've had a long year. We've had a lot of good battles. We've had a lot of hard fights. And so, you know, to be able to come out here to Homestead and just have to start up feels pretty nice, but we've still got one more part of the war we'd like to win today, and that's to win this race.
Okay, champ. It's been an impressive season, stats-wise, to say the least. You know, you set a record for laps led in this series, over 2,600 in the season. 19 finishes of first or second. Pretty impressive, I'd say. How gratifying is it to you in a season that you won the championship that you set a lot of records that may never be broken?
Well, it's always fun to get your name in the record books, and I only try to go out there and do the best I can week in, week out, lead the laps I need to lead, and win the races I need to win. And, you know, this year it all came together for us here on this 18 Z-Line Monster Energy drink team. And can't thank Toyota enough, can't thank all the guys on the team enough, Jason and everybody. They busted their butts and made this year worthwhile. And, you know, it's fun to come out here and have such a great group of guys to work with, and the guys that make it fun all during the year. Those are the guys you like to reward with the wins and stuff. So with all the records and everything we set, you would like to cap it off and put some nice icing on the cake with a championship, and that's what we were able to do.
All right. We want to add our congratulations, certainly, for here in the booth. But I got one more question for you. You've got a couple of guys starting right around you there that are having a little bit of a feud. Does that concern you? Will you be watching out for what might happen on the track with those two today?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. Not really. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I feel like our Z-Line Designs Camry is good enough to come up here and challenge for the lead. Hopefully we won't have to worry about those guys, and, you know, we can stay in front of them all day.
Okay, champ. Good luck. Thanks for talking with us. We'll talk to you later on. And now Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe.
Hey, Jason, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, Andy.
Okay, Jason, you're hanging that trophy up on your mantle now, Nationwide Series champion. What's next for you, Jason Ratcliffe?
Well, hopefully more championships. You know, we're just going to enjoy this one right now. I think, you know, thank all these guys on this team and obviously Kyle for all we've been able to accomplish this year. So we'll enjoy this championship. And next year, you know, we're going to have Kyle's going to be running a limited schedule, but we'll still be able to go out there and try to compete for an Orange championship. So I think that right now will be our next goal to accomplish, hopefully. But tonight, like Kyle said, we're going to try to go out here and put this thing in victory lane and enjoy this 2009 championship.
Okay, way to go this year, Jason, and congratulations, man. Good luck today.
Thanks, Andy.
So the cars are on the final pace lap. The lights are out. We're going to go green here very soon at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Stay with us for the final race. From high above, a sparse crowd, but a very loyal crowd here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Here is our starting grid across the top of the screen. 9 cars did not make the show, including Jeremy Clements, Chase Austin, John Borneman, Parker Kligerman, but more on him in a second. Morgan Shepherd, Eddie McDonald, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Brian Keselowski, and Benny Gordon. Now, the cars going to the rear, the number 6 of Eric Darnell, they went to a backup. Michael Annette had some unapproved adjustments after spinning and qualifying. And Parker Kligerman is now driving the 42 that Todd Bodine qualified. So he will be in the 42, and there he is. As we get ready to go green, remember this is 18 to 20 degrees. Progressive banking at Homestead-Miami Speedway, 1.5 miles. We're going 200 laps. Pit speed 45 miles an hour. Go faster, you're gonna get busted. And the pit window 55 to 60 laps. So we've gone through 34 races that started, guys, all the way back in Daytona in February, and it's now down to the final 300 miles.
Yeah, and Kyle Busch has dominated this season, and hell, that's what he's out to do. I talked to him the other day. He said, best way I know to finish off a championship is to go to victory lane 2.
Yeah, I talked to Jason Ratcliffe, too, and he said he didn't want to share the victory celebration with anybody. He wanted to win the race and celebrate the championship.
So as the pace car comes out of turn number 4, gets ready to make the turn, here it comes off of the track. And the season finale of the 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series, the Ford 300, is green. Going into 3, Jeff Burton looks to be sliding backwards. Denny Hamlin underneath him. And it looks like he may be able to clear him coming out of 4. And leading the first lap, pole sitter Carl Edwards.
Yep, Kyle Busch doing what he does best all the way up to 2nd in that first lap.
Kyle followed by Ryan Newman, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin. That's your top 5. Jeff Burton, and Kyle is going for the race lead, trying to tighten it up. Our new champion, the 21st driver to win the Nationwide Series championship in 28 years of racing at the age of 24.
Comes Keselowski up on the outside. Already trying to make that high groove work. That's where you talked about progressive banking. That's where the most banking is up on the top side.
And guess who's right in front of him? Here we go. Going into the corner. Well, he doesn't look like he's going to take your theory, Andy.
Nah, he's not going to. We were just kidding anyway. He's going to try to race his way on the outside, it looks like, and he's not able to do that just yet. This 11 car has really been strong in practice. Denny's got a great car here, but you see that momentum from the top side now. The 88 car starting to pull up on Denny.
You know, we talked about this, and you don't know what's going to happen, but usually when a race driver has 6 or 7 days to cool down from something happened, and when so much talk was made about it, you start thinking, hey, it's probably best if I'm going to ever make a payback that it happened later when everybody's not watching for it.
Well, there goes the 88 on the high side. We talked about rim riding. A lot of guys will do it here. It's because we can get some great grip up there that you can't down low. But here comes Denny Hamlin right up on the back bumper of the 29. And there is Keselowski in that 3-car battle. That is for 5th, 6th, and 7th on the racetrack.
Yeah, and here comes Keselowski now with a nice run on the top. Still not able to carry it completely off the corner. Here he comes down the straightaway with a little bit of momentum.
Tell you that Kevin Hamlin in the 37 is the first car to make the left turn and park it in the garage area. Down on the low side of the track, Joey Logano looking like he's got a little bit of grief because he got the 29 underneath him. Whoa, they get awfully close coming down that backstretch.
You try to get over there right against at the end of the straightaway and try to hold that car back just a little bit where you might get by him. Sometimes you get a little too close.
Now you see Denny Hamlin. He's been working the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like he just jumped up in that high lane now. He's going to try it up there. Sees that. Well, take that back. Here he goes back to the bottom in turn 1.
Well, the guys were telling me they wanted to be able to run down low, but they weren't sure they were going to be able to stay down there as the tires continued to wear. Here we go, 3 wide, and the 11 and the 88 side by side. Cooler heads prevail so far, but we're early in this race.
Look at this run that Keselowski gets way up top here.
Yeah, and Hamlin down on the inside, going to make it 3 wide off the corner.
And Joey Logano's spotters going inside, outside, they're everywhere. Finally falls back behind him as Logano maintains the position, but he's still got the 11 to deal with on the low end of the racetrack.
Yeah, when they changed this racetrack around and did this progressive banking, this is exactly the reason they did it, so we could have great racing like this.
Let's check in pit road. Vince?
Well, one of the concerns for the 88 and also Denny Hamlin as they run behind Joey Logano is the fact that Logano reports his car is really free and he's got his hands full. So as these guys battle around him, that's one thing to keep in mind. Remember, he's working with Doug Hewitt, the crew chief on this car. They don't have a lot of experience together. Hewitt relying on the engineers with this team to try to get a car that works for Joey, but right now, very, very free.
Had a bit of a spin and a little contact there. You can see the 31, Tim Andrews, had a tire going down.
Left side's only.
While all that's going on, we can also tell you that
Keselowski's around.
Keselowski has turned. I just looked down at the monitor.
It was a great job right there getting it straightened out.
He was running fifth at the time.
I don't know if the motor just blew up or what happened.
Thing just turned sideways up there.
It won't run. It shut off. 10-4, switch boxes.
All right, they're calling.
A case like that right there, I would really think that it might be that cutoff switch right there
I think the motor
on the
blew
steering
going
wheel.
into the corner.
He does have some damage to the car. Here we go.
Nope, he got it pre-fired.
Switch. You're exactly right, Andy. You hit that button sometimes when you're trying to.
Yeah, he was all elbows there trying to catch that car, and sometimes that happens. I mean, your hands are all over the steering wheel. And he got some damage from this, and it's in a critical area on the car. That right rear corner is something you really want to have straight.
We ride along with him right here. You can hear just as he tried to go back to the throttle.
Just hold the brake there. Stay up high there. Stay up high. Come on, low. Go low. Get out of these guys' way. Come on. I don't know if the motor just blew up or what happened.
Well, he has fallen back to 33rd position as a almost near catastrophe because he has finished, the only driver to finish every of the 34 races that we've run so far this year. Almost at the end of our first caution here at the Ford 300 at Miami Homestead, and it's Brad Keselowski now all the way back to 38th. We can tell you Terry Cook, Dennis Setzer, Johnny Chapman, Kevin Hamlin, the starting parks, those four behind the wall. There you see Brad. Our race leader is Carl Edwards. Kyle Busch is second. Then you've got Ryan Newman third, Jeff Burton fourth, and Denny Hamlin in fifth. Lights out on the pace car. They come through turns 3 and 4, and we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 12 of 200 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Carl Edwards with the choice, took the inside line, slows him down, green flag out, we're racing again.
Carl got a huge jump there on the start.
He sure did. Let's see how this works, though. Kyle Busch really got through turn 1 and 2 on the initial start of this race. See if he can get that run off of turn 2.
Ryan Newman in the 33. He's running right behind them in third. Jeff Burton looks like he's got a little more oomph in that car as he is now in fourth and taking a peek.
Here comes Kyle on the outside.
Yep, here we go on the high side. Watch the 18. Your new champion in the Nationwide Series is going to lead another lap. And he has one more record that he can break today. Now by leading a lap, all he needs to do is finish fourth or better, and he'll score more points in a single season than anybody in the history of the Nationwide Series. As Kyle tries to lengthen his lead over Carl Edwards. What's going on with Brad Keselowski? He restarted 38th. He's already picked up 10 positions. He's 28th. Here he comes.
Looks healthy to me. I didn't know if he had any damage that was going to slow him up, but looks good now.
Yeah, one thing he's got, though, is 4 fresh tires, and that means a lot. But will that hurt him when it comes to the end of the race if these other guys have another set of tires and he doesn't?
Eric Darnell right in front of him there, and Kenny Butler on the high side. He's got a lot of traffic to try and work through. There's Michael Annett. Right now, he is hanging on to 10th in the points championship chase. And he's got 2 other guys within 50 markers. All right, we are just at the top of the hour. If you are joining us, Brad Keselowski was running 5th. Let's listen to what happens as he has problems coming through turn 4.
I think the motor blew going into the corner. Got the red light on in the dash, do you?
Okay, that's a kill switch that he had probably inadvertently hit during that spin that he had in turns 3 and 4, and thought the motor was blown up, but it was actually the switch there, that kill switch that NASCAR puts them on. We'll go down to our Craftsman Tech Garage, and Tim Brewer can explain how that works. Tim?
Thanks, Andy. You're exactly right. When a driver gets to fighting the wheel right here, if you touch the kill switch, see when a driver's got his hand on that thing, if the throttle hangs, you can push that button, cutting off the ignition system, therefore it'll shut the motor down. But apparently he accidentally hit that button. But the other switch right here on the dash, that's where you actually retch over and flip the switch, and that's where you change ignition boxes. But I'm like you, Andy, the kill switch, that's what cut the engine off.
All right, thanks, Tim. As you can see, Kyle has got his hands full with Carl Edwards as that battle continues for the race lead. It's the 32nd Nationwide Series race this year out of 35 that Kyle has led at least one lap. The two Rusty Wallace teammates and Brendan Gaughan, of course, in the Rookie of the Year battle with Justin Allgaier, who's right behind him in the 12 car.
You'll see Brendan up in that high line. That's where we've seen him a lot of times, especially on these bigger racetracks. He really likes to keep this thing wound up. See him pulling away from his teammate now, making it work.
That's Kelly Byers in the 5. That is all for position, as he's going to be switching over to that 88 car next year here in the Nationwide Series. Whoa, and did you see Allgaier get loose?
We're going to be saying that a lot about a lot of these guys. There's not a lot of grip out there to be had. They're going to be glad to see that sun go down to where things cool off a little bit. They can find a little bit of grip.
Well, we do have some cloud cover already, as there is Byers taking a look underneath the 66 as Stephen Wallace can't get it done. Then slams the door on the 12. Shannon?
Kelly Byers saying the car is loose in, tight off. They've been working on this car all weekend. Tony Uri Jr., former crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr., is the crew chief for Kelly Byers this weekend, and they are treating it as a test for next season. They said they just want to see how Kelly reacts in the car, see if they can give him what they want. So it's all working for 2010. Dave.
Shannon, Justin Allgaier in the 12 car did not have a good qualifying run. He started 20th today. I asked his crew chief, Chad Walter, about it. And Chad said, you know, it was funny because he thought the car felt great. But you know what? A few guys spun just before he went out there. And I think it was a little bit conservative for us. And I'd rather start the race with a whole car.
As you wrap up, you see Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano going after each other for that 5th spot on the racetrack behind Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, and Jeff Burton. Hamlin's opening up some room.
Yeah, you see the two totally different lines there. Denny Hamlin down the bottom of the racetrack. Logano choosing that high side. And he's got a loose race car, so that's where the 20 car is loose, been reported to be loose. So that's more of a line that you'll want to take where you don't have to turn the steering wheel as much.
Well, Eric Darnell and Brad Keselowski are just marching their way towards the front. Darnell is 18th. Keselowski is now 19th. Remember, he restarted 38th. So these are the two biggest movers.
Yeah, they're both passing cars like crazy. And you got to give it to Darnell here. He's in a backup car. He crashed his car in qualifying, and now he's taking this backup car and really marching up through the field. Keselowski's been working on him, trying to get past him, and can't get past him, but they've both passed 15 cars since the restart.
Heck, if I was Brad, just hitch a ride and keep moving to the front. While all that is going on, Carl Edwards trying to close the gap on race leader Kyle Busch. You know, we mentioned the fact he's led 32 of 35 Nationwide Series races this year.
Better he is.
The old record, Sam Ard, 26 back in 1984. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, we got a lot of racing still to go. Second caution for debris, pit stops. Let's go to Shannon.
Denny Hamlin says the car is free in and off. It's going to be a track bar adjustment and air pressure. Dave.
Kyle Busch, the leader, needs a track bar adjustment, needs rear grip off 2 and off of 3 and 4. Jamie.
And Jeff Burton started third, comes in third. Really loose in, tight off, filling it up with Sunoco fuel, air pressure adjustment, right rear, track bar down. Vince.
The 60 of Carl Edwards, he had a clean entry in because of a car that did not continue with the race, and he's also got the clean exit off. 4 tires, no changes for Carl Edwards, second off the line.
First out on the race off pit road, Kyle Busch. And look at Darnell as he picks up 14 spots. Keselowski gas only.
Yeah, they did just a minor repair on that right rear too, but they didn't get tires. They didn't want to waste a set of tires right here because they've already put on a set.
All right, now the reason we're under caution is Blake Cook's car lost that window on the right side. It shattered between turns 3 and 4. That's what brought us under this caution. You see them trying to fix the new window and get it back in there so they can get him back out on the track. We should also tell you, Kenny Hendrick is out of the race now. Mark Day, along with the other 4, so there's 6 behind the wall.
It is the Ford 300 season finale for the NASCAR Nationwide Series at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Sun setting, tracks cooling, conditions changing, drivers and crew chiefs talking.
What are you doing in the right rear?
Let's take a little bit of air out.
A little bit of air out did not help anybody at Texas. They did it on the Cup side. It did not help anybody at Texas. Let's try track bar down. See what it does. You think that'll help it enough?
Oh, yeah. That'll help you.
With Rusty Ray and Brad, as we listen to Kyle Busch and his crew chief Jason Ratcliffe talk about what to do to adjust with the cooling conditions.
Yeah, right now, this is really good, the conversations they had. Look at, they're putting the track bar down in the right rear. They listened to the driver, what he had to say. But, Ray, one thing I'm looking at, though, this track is really cooling down right now, but it looks to me like they've really been struggling up there in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Rusty, the reason for that is the turn 1 and 2 right now is shaded because of where the sun's at, but the sun is still shining on turn 3 and 4. And what Kyle was talking about with that tire, he knows that this is a Texas tire, and air didn't help it there.
Restart. Jason Keller did not pit under this caution. He is the leader in the 27 car. Probably not for long. Not with Kyle Busch outside of him.
Get some good opportunity to get on TV and run up front, hopefully for 3/4 of a lap, but yeah, it didn't work very long.
So Kyle and Carl back out in front, 4 wide on the back stretches. We go back to the booth, and Marty, DJ, and Andy.
Yeah, we were all dancing up here as the 88 was getting squeezed a little bit there. And take a look. He took only fuel, but remember also he had that stop earlier. And for Jason Keller, of course, he's getting a little TV time because that's his last ride in that car this year and possibly forever.
Yeah, we're hearing when they were in the pits, they did take some air pressure out of one of the tires on the 88 car just to make an adjustment. But the 6 of Darnell and 88 of Keselowski both didn't take tires that last round. The other cars you see, like Ryan Newman, Joey Logano, the cars around them did get 4 new tires.
Well, look at Darnell. I'll tell you, he's got himself a little race car here. This backup has really come to life. He's on the high line right now. Jeff Burton got the bottom rail, and there was Ryan Newman trying to squeeze in between. Couldn't get it done.
Yeah, you see that 6-car wiggle a little bit up there. He'll be able to hang on for a few more laps up in here, but these new tires and these other guys, it's going to take over. But Darnell's doing a nice job. Shannon?
It was wedge and fuel for Darnell on that last pit stop. He said the car started off a little bit free, and now it's going a little bit tight. Guys, he's failed to finish the last 2 races he started in. Started 41st, so he is definitely looking for a good run here today.
And another guy with a future very much in doubt. Take a look just behind them as you see Joey Logano on the low line trying to get underneath the 88 of Brad Keselowski, and that is for 6th and 7th. So there's 5th, 6th, and 7th right on your screen. Not missing anything up front. Kyle Busch's lead over Carl Edwards is 7/10 of a second. This is the best battle on the racetrack. And Justin Allgaier. As it looks like the report we're getting is that Steve Wallace may have gotten into the back of Allgaier, gotten him loose a little bit. Let's go back and take another look.
You can see here Steve Wallace right on the bottom. Justin Allgaier doesn't give Steve much room right there.
He did. He looked like he was trying to protect that bottom line, and just Stephen Wallace had that nose in there.
Just a little racing contact, no harm.
It costs Allgaier several positions. There's Scott Speed as he's trying to go underneath the 88 of Brad Keselowski. And that is for 7th.
And right now for Brad, all he really wants to do is just try to hang on, try not to lose too many spots, because they tried to just stay out right here on these tires and save a set for later.
And if you want to look just a little bit further back, there is the 11, Denny Hamlin, coming up on the 88. Will they tangle this time around? Let's go on more with Brad. Get an up-close, personal kind of look.
I say his opportunity is not going to get a lot better than it is right now, Dale, if he wanted to pay him back.
No, if he had any intention, yeah.
He's got tires, and Brad doesn't have tires, so kind of got him in a little vulnerable position.
Well, and you heard Denny say at the beginning of the broadcast during Countdown, his first priority is he has a car capable of winning this race. If the opportunity presents itself to take care of business as far as the 88, then he said, okay, I'll take care of business, but I've got to worry about winning the race first.
Yeah, what he means there, he doesn't want to put himself in a bad spot by, just going out here and trying to wreck this car. And if he's going to do it, he wants to give himself an out.
Yeah, and you also have, he's racing for a team that's trying to get sponsorship for next year. But you see the second spot here changing hands.
That's right, Jeff Burton. That
there
car
he
has
goes.
come to life.
Keselowski's around.
Whoa!
Right off the front bumper of Denny Hamlin.
Keselowski goes around.
Hold the brake. You got some cars coming. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll.
Okay, well, he didn't get it done good
We
enough.
gotta have 4 tires. Take it easy.
That's David Rudeman that got slowed down good enough in the 32. Nobody else gets tagged in this.
Well, my point is Keselowski didn't hit anything. What a job he did spinning that car.
That boy will never learn. He didn't do it good enough.
That's right. He did.
That was fun. Give me 4 tires. I'll be all right. Watch my fenders, TJ. Don't let me tear them up. Yeah, 10-4.
He was 8th at the time.
2 spins in 34 laps, so he's going to be out of tires before we get to the end of this race.
Yeah,
I'll go down there and buy him another set.
Yeah. If it were that simple. Let's see what happens right here.
Yeah, here he does it. Right off the corner.
Yeah. Not much doubt in what went on right there, guys.
I guess we need to get a camera on the 11 car, and we see Carl Edwards on pit road. See
Hold the brake. Just hold the brake. You got some cars coming. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Hold the brake. Let it roll.
Well, there's Brad coming in. Now, Carl is on pit road, and pit road is closed. What's going on, Vince?
Well, after that last yellow, as Carl Edwards was back out on the track, his spotter noticed that the front valance, the valance there on the front end, had been pinched inside. It looked like maybe Carl had run over a piece of debris. So they felt like they didn't want to, at the time, take the chance to come in under green because they didn't think it was going to hamper them too much. Thought they'd get a yellow. They got it right on time. Carl says, let's come in and fix it. I don't mind going to the back of the line, especially early in the race, but let's get it fixed so it doesn't hamper our aerodynamics once we're out on the racetrack. So that's what they're doing, fixing that front valance, filling it up full of fuel, and back out for Carl Edwards. Dave Burns.
And Brad Keselowski on pit road to get these 4 tires changed. From the looks of the reactions down here, this is not unexpected by this team. One thing to note, though, this is the 3rd set of tires going on this car, and they get a limited number for the race weekend. I know they may be able to turn some in if they fail, but I'm not sure that's the case if you're spinning down the racetrack.
That's a great point as far as the tires and how far he'll be able to go. Remember, we still have 164 laps of racing left. Take another look.
Well, Denny Hamlin holds good to what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to take care of business, and right here it is.
And I guess the one question I have, did he do any damage to the front of his car?
It didn't really look like that he got anything. That's the strongest part of your car, too.
Now, this is Brad Keselowski's crew. They're handling it pretty well. Got to hand it to them.
Well, they said they were going to be okay. Here's a view from high above the Goodyear blimp.
Keselowski does a great job not to hit anything.
Yeah, it's not going to happen many times.
That boy will never learn. He didn't do it good enough.
We heard him.
That was fun. Give me 4 tires. I'll be all right. Watch my fenders, TJ. Don't let me tear them up. Yeah, 10-4.
That was just in case you didn't hear it the first time. And as Brad comes back in, we're still under this 3rd caution. It's going to give us a chance to squeeze in a commercial break, and we have just found out that Denny Hamlin is going to get a black flag and held 1 lap for aggressive driving. So it is going to cost him a chance at possibly winning this race. His best finish in 6 starts in 09 was 11th last week, and this isn't going to help it at all. We can also tell you that the 81 gets the lucky dog of Blake Cook. Remember, he brought out the other red caution period we had, our 2nd one, and there he is. And the message from NASCAR is this is now enough. They have warned both cars, the 11 and the 88. There will be no more of this today. Now he could get that lap back eventually through the lucky dog, but we'll have to find out. Stay with us. A lot more still to come here at the Ford 300. Well, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. The fireworks have been flying here. Kyle Busch on the inside, Jeff Burton, then Ryan Newman, Joey Logano, Scott Speed. That's your top 5. Going to go 3 wide. Derek Darnell still looking like he wants a piece up front. And whoa, Kelly Byers gets loose.
Completely out of the throttle right there, causing a lot of problems.
No harm to anybody else, though, as we keep going at speed here at Homestead-Miami.
There's Mike Bliss in that one car this last week trying to hold on to that 5th spot in the points.
And he's doing a good job because Justin Allgaier is back in 15th. Bliss is running in 8th. Battle for 2nd right now. Jeff Burton has it, and Ryan Newman wants it. They come flying down the backstretch, and Burton's able to open up a little more ground. Newman's going to try the low line, and in 4th place is Joey Logano. He's trying to catch up to him. Meanwhile, there's Denny Hamlin, who is the only car 1 lap down. He will be eligible for the lucky dog next time, and look who's right beside him.
They're still racing.
Well, NASCAR told them no more shenanigans for the rest of the day, but there they are, nose to tail again.
I've seen Brad Keselowski 4 wide at least once since the restart.
On board with Brad, looking back at Denny.
Yeah, I don't know that Denny's going to hit him again, but I think he's going to make life as miserable as he possibly can.
Dave, let's get an update on the 88.
The tire situation, guys. He ruined a pair when he had that spin last time. We speculated about whether or not he'd get another set of the pair. He ruined the 4 is what he did. They were a mess. NASCAR has allowed them to get 1 more set of tires. They will have 3 behind the wall for Brad to complete this race. 3 sets.
Yeah, that's a good break for the 88 because they had already used an extra set of tires in that first little skirmish, so that'll help them definitely as this race wears on.
Here's the battle for the race lead as it's heating up. The 29 of Jeff Burton, and Burton getting real racing. Remember, at the start of the race, he went backwards, but here he comes underneath Kyle Busch. Can he make it stick? He has been the best on the low line in the since the last 2 cautions.
Yeah, you see, he had to get out of the throttle there, though. He was if he'd have stayed in it, he'd been up against Kyle Busch.
Yeah, to make that low line work for Jeff Burton, he needs the whole racetrack coming off the corner, and that's what he didn't have right there with Kyle Busch already taking that spot. So I think if he could ever get by this 18, he might be able to hold the lead for a while.
Dave, what's the latest from down there?
Well, we know about Kyle and his ability to drive a race car very fast. We also know that he has a feisty personality when things don't go his way. But folks also have learned over the year that Kyle has a pretty good dry sense of humor. Listen to how he commented on the 88 and the 11.
The 11 dumped the 88 when the 88 was already having a bad day. They were running, 88 got loose in front of them or something. And yeah, they're just doing something to Denny here. And now they're posting them because they knew it was on purpose. Yeah, I think it was just a judgment call there, yeah. Hey, Andy Petrie, if you're listening to me, man, remember what we talked about today? I told you.
Yeah, I talked to Jason. That's Jason Radcliffe, and we were talking about this situation with Denny and Brad, and he said that it was going to happen today. He knew for sure that something was going to happen, even though some of them said maybe not. But Jason knew something was up. It was going to happen today.
Well, right now, his driver, Kyle Busch, has mirrors full of Jeff Burton. And remember, Burton won here back in 2007. He started 30th. That's the farthest back anybody's ever won from here at Homestead-Miami. He's on the high side right now, and that was his last of his 27 nationwide wins as he goes around him and takes the lead.
Yeah, Kyle Busch just kind of pulled over that time, and he realized how fast Burton was. Well, it's not the time to be trying to hold him up. We've got a lot of laps left here.
While all this continues up front, look at the Rookie of the Year battle. It's like magnets. These guys, we've got Hamlin and Keselowski, and there's Brendan Gaughan right in front of the 12 of Justin Allgaier, the 2 contending, separated by 8 points. Allgaier leads coming into this race. They are running 13th and 14th right now on the track. And a little bit further back is Michael Annett. He's hanging on dearly right now to that 10th and final top 10 spot. There he is in the 15th. Spun the car during qualifying and had to make some unapproved adjustments, but he was able to keep it off the wall. And right now, here comes Brad Keselowski underneath him, as Keselowski has now picked up 13 positions since the restart. So Brad is in 16th right now. Just got word that Joe Nemechek has made the corner and turned into the garage. We should also tell you that Chase Miller is now out of the race as well, so that updates you on those that have retired. Michael Annett points to Denny Hamlin, tells him, go underneath me. Here comes the 20 of Joey Logano trying to get around Ryan Newman. Newman, the only guy who's ever won this race from the pole. That was back in 2005.
Yeah, this guy's been having a great battle here. Newman's on that high side. Logano just can't quite get his car off the corner enough to carry the speed to make the pass. Vince?
It's interesting as you listen to the radios of both of these drivers, they're both talking about the same thing in relation to their car, both a little too free. So it's interesting as you watch the two battle for one another, try to find a spot on the racetrack that allows them to make that pass if you're Logano, or that spot on the racetrack that you can defend it if you're Ryan Newman. Both like their cars. In fact, Logano says it's a little bit better than last time, but they still need to get it a little more snug. Ryan Newman says, I'm just too free. We got to make a track bar adjustment next time.
Well, the lights are on, sun is going down, and it's changing fast.
Yeah, it really is, but that can be a recipe for disaster when you have two loose race cars, both of them driving hard.
But I'll tell you, this race is starting to look like something that will really play into Joey Logano's hands, because he has won races on racetracks like this with a car that's been loose early, and he gets it right for the end.
4 of his 6 wins here on the 1.5-mile tracks for the number 20, Joey Logano.
A quarter of the way through today's Ford 300 as we continue from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Don't forget, tomorrow, our coverage from here of the season finale for the Sprint Cup Series. Sports Center presented by AutoZone at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship, 1 Eastern time tomorrow. Excuse me. And on Sunday, following that is the Ford 400 on ABC at 2:30 Eastern, coverage beginning with NASCAR Countdown on ABC. In the pit studio with Rusty, Brad, and Ray, looking at the first quarter of this race. Fireworks.
Yeah, there was fireworks. I told you guys early that Denny Hamlin was not going to hit Brad Keselowski, but obviously I was wrong. He got to him. He was mad. And now NASCAR said, hey, enough of that. But up front right here, though, Brad, that old veteran of Jeff Burton, he looks like he's getting it done to me right now. He knows how to get around this place.
Well, he does, and it looks like that 29 car has come back to life. He's done so well in this car over the past couple of years driving it. Has a lot of wins on the Nationwide Series, and it's good to see him up there battling. But I think Joey Logano, like the guys we're talking about, will be the guy to beat at the end of the day.
Logano's got a good car, but, we saw Carl Edwards strong, and then we saw a caution for debris. Seemed like maybe Carl hit that debris, damaged that air dam, and they pitted, fixed it, and he's come back up through there. I think Carl Edwards could be a factor here at the end of this race.
One of the other stories we talked about at the start of the day, Mike Bliss trying to secure the 5th position in the final championship standings and the final speaking spot on stage at the banquet. So far, Mr. Bliss running now in 9th position, trying to clear Eric Darnell in the 6 car.
Just got to keep, these guys just have to be patient as the temperature continues to drop, gets a little bit cooler. Just let the track come to them, and then they can go racing. About another 10 laps, they'll all be settled in temperature and track-wise.
So Bliss right now comfortably in that 5th position. Justin Allgaier behind him on the racetrack, and Mike hoping to keep it that way for the rest of the day. Jeff Burton, though, the man in charge as we go back upstairs to Marty, DJ, and Andy.
And Jeff Burton looking to give Richard Childress Racing its 3rd win this year. The other 2 came back earlier this year with Clint Boyer at the wheel at Daytona in July and Dover in September. Jamie, what's the latest?
And actually, the car that Jeff Burton, your leader, is driving right now was a race winner at Dover with Clint Boyer. Now, you guys keep talking about the temperature dropping and it cooling off. That has been a great thing for Jeff Burton. He started off loose, and when they pitted last time, it was an air pressure adjustment and track bar, and it has just set this car into motion. So they've got a fast car and great conditions right now.
I'll tell you just cannot hold a great race team down. And this RCR, the whole Richard Childress organization, on both sides, the Cup side and on the Nationwide side, he has been working hard to get these cars back competitive, and is showing what their efforts are showing up here tonight.
They're the third winningest team in Nationwide Series history with 55.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen over the years. But this year's been a real struggle for these guys. But they're, as Andy said, working hard, getting it back, and it's nice to see Jeff Burton up front.
Kyle Busch has fallen almost a full second behind. Dave, what's the latest?
A couple things going on with our new champion, Marty. First of all, Jason Ratcliffe told his driver this is the only set of tires where the codes don't match up. These specialists work very hard to pick the right tires that are kind of like a specially matched set. I hate to quote a famous movie, but anyway, these are the only ones that don't match. So that's one thing. If he goes low on the low line, it's loose in, tight in the center, tight off. If he goes high, it's good in, tight in the center, and he doesn't know what it's doing off, tight and loose. So myriad problems for him. All that information going to Jason Ratcliffe, who will make an adjustment next time they come down pit road.
Okay, for those who at home may not understand, a matched set.
Well, I mean, every set of tires, they're very consistent. These tires from Goodyear are very, very consistent. But sometimes there's just a little bit of differences in some of the spring rate of the tires, and sometimes just a slight difference in size. And then that right there doesn't match up with the way your car's set up. Uh-oh, we got these two guys racing each other again.
And it looks like they're going to give each other plenty of berth. And Denny goes around the 88 very easily. So that's now about 13th on the racetrack. Remember, Denny is a lap down in 33rd, so Brad says, I don't have to race you right now.
Yeah, and back to those tires as we see a battle here for the fifth spot. So many times you get a different set of tires like that. It makes the car do so many things that you're not sure exactly what to do to the car. So you have to really be careful in making adjustments till you get another set of tires on it.
Now that's the thing, you can really throw a crew chief a curve, because if you do have a set of tires that are just a little bit different than what you've been used to, then you'll make an adjustment and go the wrong way.
Whoa, did you see Ruderman get loose, and that boy Scott Speed's right behind him. That's Matt Kenseth in the 16, and they are going around the slower traffic of Blake Cook. Blake is 6 laps down. Remember, he had that window blow out and shatter, which brought out our second caution.
Yeah, Ruderman's driving that baby sideways right now, off the corner.
And I talked to him before qualifying, and he was not sure what kind of race car they were going to have. They were trying a few things, and he said, I really don't have a lot of confidence right now. We're going to have to just work our way through it. Shannon, what's the latest you're hearing from the 32 camp?
Well, I can tell you exactly what kind of car he has right now. It is loose, especially into turn 3. Spotter Sean Ruderman, his cousin, David Ruderman's cousin, told David, just hang on. The sun is going down. We'll get you on pit road next time. We'll make some adjustments. But David is doing all he can to hang on to that car, especially going into 3.
All right, thanks for the update, Shannon, as we watch this battle continue. And there goes Kenseth taking a peek underneath Scott Speed. Can he make it? Don't know. They're going to go come side by side out of the corner.
You can see Kenseth likes that low line. He was able to get his car to really stick. Hadn't been able to complete the pass on Scott Speed yet.
One of the things we can tell you, remember we mentioned when we went back to green flag racing, as this battle continues, as Speed opens up about, now a half a car length over the 16 of Matt Kenseth. Remember, we went back to green flag racing. Denny Hamlin was the only car a lap down. That has changed, guys, because Jeff Burton is really flying around this racetrack. In fact, Hamlin is like 7th on the list to get the lucky dog. That is bad news for him trying to win this race today. While all that is happening right there, what is happening with Carl Edwards? Well, remember, he had the problem with the front valence. Brought it in. He has fought his way back to 14th. And there he is, moving up 19 spots since the restart. Brad right behind him with 17. You're on board with Carl Edwards right now. He's got a lot of ground to catch up to Jeff Burton, who has opened up a 1.5-second lead. And Burton has won 7 times for Childress. 6 have been in that number 29. Working lap 73 of 200 here at the Ford 300 Homestead-Miami Speedway. And just during the commercial break, man, Jeff Burton has added a full 1.5 seconds. He's now up to a 3-second lead. And our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. What a great view. Under the lights. I love racing under the lights at night, guys. And look at the difference. this car has really come to life as the track temperature has dropped 15 degrees, they've told us.
Yeah, I think that's just really coming around for Jeff Burton's car. It's just seems like the cooler the track gets, the faster his car gets.
Yeah, he's just not falling off any at all. He's beating Kyle Busch at least 3/10 a lap. But you can see how much the track temp has dropped.
And Kyle Busch has about a 4-second lead over third place, Ryan Newman. And then it's another second back to Joey Logano in fourth. Matt Kenseth is 2 more seconds back, rounding out our top 5. So the next round of pit stops is going to be critical to all these guys trying to catch up to Jeff Burton and to tighten up this race.
Yeah, now it's when they have to start making adjustments because the track has cooled down. We'll see it cool down a little bit more, but they're going to pretty much have what they have for the rest of the race, and so they'll be able to make those adjustments to this.
Well, remember, our last round of pit stops were on lap 24. We're now working lap 76, so we got to be getting close here pretty soon. That was Ryan Newman. He is currently in third. There is your race leader, Jeff Burton. And, boy, he is just knocking down the guys, putting them a lap down. That's Parker, or I should say Wimmer in the 40, who just went a lap down. The car right behind him. 12 cars now 1 lap down in this green flag run. Let's get an update on the 18, David.
And his displeasure right now with the way he is running this racetrack. Listen.
We're just all agreed to something right now. This is my worst racetrack on the circuit. I can't stand this place. I'm horrible.
Man, I don't know what you're talking about. You're running second.
A little bit of optimism from the crew back to him. One thing I would like crew chief Jason Ratcliffe to do is to go back on that track bar adjustment they made and, in his words, reset everything. He feels like if they start from a square zero, kind of a baseline that they knew, maybe the start of the race, that'll be the best way to go from here.
Why is it drivers get this in their heads where, you know, they just don't like a place, something about it? What happened to you? Where was yours?
There were more than I could want to count and talk about. We've got things to cover here. But what it is, if you don't have success at a racetrack, you're not exactly sure of the feel that you're looking for in your car. So it's really hard to relay that to your crew. And until you hit on that, then you really don't know exactly what you're looking for in it. Kyle Busch can drive anywhere that you go. We know that. So they just need to hit on that setup.
Well, we can tell you Jeff Burton is still flying, folks. He's opened up the lead over Kyle Busch to 4.2 seconds, but it's not over yet.
Welcome back to Homestead. We are under pit stops right now. David Rudiman, the car is loose. They're going to make a 4-tire change, air pressure and wedge. Dave.
Second place, Kyle Busch has already gotten the track bar adjustment full of Sunoco fuel, 4 tires. Jamie?
And your leader, Jeff Burton, said he's getting progressively tighter as the run goes on. Air pressure adjustment, track bar for him. Car is good, Vince.
The 33 of Ryan Newman was running third. It's been a little tied off, so they're going to put some tape on the front and make a track bar adjustment. As far as the 20 is concerned, tight in 3 and 4, loose off of 4. They made a track bar and an air pressure adjustment as well, as you see the exit off pit road.
And the race off pit road goes to Kyle Busch. Jeff Burton drops back second, and Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth. Our 4th caution was caused by debris off of Justin Marks' car going down the backstretch. And we could show you, watch the car on the right side of your screen. There it is, flying off. And that's what brought out the caution and ruined a 4.6-second lead for a guy who was complaining his car was getting tighter. Is that a tear-off, though?
It's hard to tell what it is. It almost looked metallic when it flew up in the air.
That was awfully dark to be a tear-off at this stage of the evening.
Well, that's why I think it might be what it was. It might have been a dark tear-off that they had on the helmet.
Yeah.
And it's getting dark now, and so he pulls that off there and back to a clear shield.
But when NASCAR sees that, just like we saw it the first time, it looks like a piece of metal came off of the car.
I didn't know what that was there at first, but I believe it was a tear-off.
So that is the reason we are under the caution here. And there you see Kyle Busch, our newly crowned champion of the Nationwide Series. And since we have some time, why don't we talk to him? He's our in-race reporter.
Kyle Busch, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy?
Yeah, man, 10-4.
Looks like you got a pretty good race car. What are you fighting, and has the track changed much since the start of the race?
Well, the 29's really good, and the 60's pretty good too. So we got a top 3 car here, but you know, the sun out in the beginning of the race made us really, really loose. Out the track bar. It's cooled off a bit since the sun's gone down. We've seen it get tight, so we've come back on that. And just trying some other fine-tune adjustments in order to get this thing going a little bit better and longer and keep those guys behind us.
We've seen you kind of searching around as far as the track and trying to find that groove. And we actually heard you say something about you're not very good here. We don't really believe that, but have you found exactly where your car wants to run yet?
No, I mean, it's so hard to pick a spot. You know, I've gone from the bottom to the middle to the bottom, up to the top, back down to the middle. I've been all over the place, and I just can't find something that works, you know, something that's consistent that you can hit every lap and make the car go fast and gain time on whoever's behind you or whoever's in front of you. So, unfortunately, I'm searching. I'm just not finding, and that's why I don't feel like I'm very good here, because I'm not finding it.
Well, we think you're pretty good. Your pit crew did a great job of getting you out there in front of them, so good luck, buddy.
Yeah, man, thanks. Good job, guys.
What, has he got a TV in there? Does he know? Huh? All right, thanks, Kyle. 41 laps of green in that stretch. Let's take a look at how the positions have flipped. As far as the comparison.
Yeah, you can see the pit crew right there. 13.5 for Kyle Busch. Did a good job. Got him out front. It doesn't take much there. You see at 14.4 is what cost Jeff Burton that lead coming off pit road.
We'll have two waiver rounds, Tony Raines and Kenny Wallace. And Mike Wallace stayed out and is actually, well, he was the race leader. He finally decided to pit just now. So the 01 has just come in for a pit stop. So now that puts Kyle Busch back on point. Let's talk a little Monday Night Football. It continues in Houston. Can Vince Young and the Titans continue to turn their season around and earn a tough road win against Andre Johnson and the Houston Texans? It's Titans-Texans, ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. The coverage begins on Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's. That was easy for me to say. That's 7 o'clock Eastern.
That's an interesting matchup. The team that used to be in Houston's playing the team that is in Houston now.
There you go. And that's why we just travel all around the country and take the teams with us. Doesn't matter where we go as long as we got a racetrack. Let's listen to the 33 radio of Ryan Newman.
We had a good pit stop there. We just let's have to deal with it. 10-4, I dropped the clutch and it just broke first gear. Then I went to go grab second. Didn't have enough res and just bogged it down to get the clutch in it.
So it sounds like they got a problem with first.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't cause him any more problems if it comes apart.
All right, Scott Wimmer gets the lucky dog, so that puts a total of 24 cars back on the lead lap. And Kyle has taken the inside line, Jeff Burton right alongside, and we're back to green flag racing here at Homestead.
Yeah, and Kyle looked right in his mirror. He's going to see a guy that's beat him a couple of times, as you talked about, Andy.
His worst nightmare, Joey Logano.
Telling you, this is looking like a Joey Logano kind of race.
And Carl Edwards, we could tell you, has back into the top 10. He's now running in 6th position. There you see him going underneath Eric Darnell, who's also had a stellar run here tonight after having to be forced into the backup car. That's Scott Speed right in front of both of them. Whoa!
Three behind.
Coming down.
3 wide.
Yeah, take a look at all this action. That's Keselowski, the meat in the sandwich. That's Brendan Gaughan, who always likes to run the rim up on the high side. There goes the 33 of Ryan Newman underneath. Here comes Mike Bliss. Oh, steady Eddie Mike Bliss just keeps punching away here in the top 10. He's right now, although running in the 14th after that last round of pit stops. Take a look at the battle for the race lead now as Joey Logano says, hey, it's my turn. Hi, Kyle. I'm back.
Yeah, Kyle trying to cross over and come back to the inside off of turn 2.
How many times have we seen this year where Kyle goes out? He has already led 35 laps. Jeff Burton has led 36. Now here comes Joey Logano, our 5th different leader and our 8th lead change. And these guys are going to go back and forth, I think, for quite a few laps now.
I cannot get into the corner at all.
Yeah, that's Kyle Busch saying he can't get into the corner. I think that's what he's struggling with the most. is he's loose getting in, and it's just really causing him a lot of problems all the way through the corner.
Yeah, you could see as they went side by side down into turn 3 that Kyle just wasn't able to hold his car down, wasn't able to get back to the throttle, and that's how Logano got the lead then.
Well, remember, we had big gaps right before we had this last caution period, a 4.6-second lead for Jeff Burton, and we all said during the break, well, we're going to find out who really makes the best adjustments. And, boy, right now, Joey Logano has certainly done it. And take a glimpse right there at the 66 of Stephen Wallace, as Wallace has worked his way up to the 8th position.
And you see right there is Ryan Newman. After coming off of pit road, they said they had a good pit stop, but broke first gear coming out of the pits and didn't have enough revs, he said, so he lost a lot of spots coming off pit road trying to make them up.
Yeah, he's definitely making them up on the racetrack now, but the problem that he'll have, we got another 3-wide battle here.
And it's the Rookie of the Year candidates. You got the 12 of Justin Allgaier underneath the 62 of Brendan Gaughan, and Denny Hamlin is the guy on the bottom of the track.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin's in that lucky dog position right now. Should the caution come out, that's what he's racing for.
Now, of course, if you have not been with us throughout the entire race, Denny Hamlin decided to, well, turn his best buddy, Brad Keselowski. It got him a 1-lap penalty from NASCAR, and they said, okay, boys, that's enough. You're going to cut it out. Well, he has fought his way back into that lucky dog position. Next caution, he could be back on the lead lap, and he has cleared both the 12 and the 62.
He has a fast race car. He showed that on the last green flag run that we had. He passed a lot of cars from the back of the pack. Just needs a little bit of a break here.
Here comes Gaughan. You know, this Rookie of the Year battle, both these guys have a lot of personality, and it's your best 16 races plus the committee. And everybody says, well, what's the committee all about? And it's where they take a look at everything that you do on the track and off the track. That's the battle for 4th. Carl Edwards on the high side around Matt Kenseth. And we've got another caution. Our 5th comes out, and we're hearing again it is debris on the racetrack.
It's big break now for Denny Hamlin. He'll get that lap back.
We've only run 10 laps here. And you're right, it is Denny Hamlin who will get the lucky dog. Parker Kligerman was the 2nd one in line for the dog. So now Denny will be back on the lead lap and a chance to get back into the battle. We're hearing that it's debris down in turn 3. I'm looking over that way, and the truck is out.
I think they just missed it. I saw a little piece of debris behind the truck.
They must have heard you. With only 10 laps, I can't see anybody stopping.
Yeah, it'd be hard to waste a set of tires right here. I mean, you definitely want tires, and if there was no limit, you would definitely come in right now. But with the limit on tires, I don't think I would want to waste a set after just 10 laps.
Well, one of the guys we have to talk about while we've got the moment here, Carl Edwards was 34th. Remember back on lap 38? And he was 13th before the pit stops, and now he's running 4th. What a comeback.
Yeah, those repairs that they made on pit road were critical to that nose. They had a piece that they didn't like and felt like it was going to hurt their performance, and so they spent the time to fix that valence you see right there. They replaced that center part. Definitely helped.
Well, we got a couple of cars coming in from the back of the field. Justin Allgaier and Brendan Gaughan, the 2 candidates for Rookie of the Year. And we mentioned about that battle. Brendan said for him to realistically have a chance, he felt he had to win a race because he has experience in both Cup and the Truck Series, where Justin does not.
After 35 weeks, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series reaches the finish line in Miami. Jimmy Johnson and the 48 team can seal the deal with an historic 4th straight title. But another Texas moment could allow Mark Martin to spoil the party. NASCAR crowns a champion in the Ford 400 tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. on ABC.
And a big day of coverage here at Homestead tomorrow. NASCAR Now tomorrow morning. Our Sports Center special from the NASCAR Championship at 1 Eastern time on ESPN. And we'll wrap the night up late night on Sunday night with NASCAR Now, including a visit with the champion. Ryan Newman, saw him on the last pit stop. We heard the story of how he lost first gear. Listen to this when he tried to leave pit road on his last stop. Not too good.
No, and there you go, Alan. These guys, as they make these cars lighter and lighter, they make those first gears narrower and narrower. And with a concrete pit road, it hooks up and breaks it. Now he's got no first gear, so he's in danger of damaging his clutch and using up and starting in second gear.
And for a little look-see at the parts and pieces involved, we go to the Craftsman Tech Garage. Mr. Brewer, no bat involved this time, huh?
No, I hadn't got no bat, Alan, but it's even worse because once you tear these gears up, like Ray says, you chip the teeth off, it gets down and contaminates the grease. As the grease is slung all the way around in here, lubricating the transmission, the gears get back up and the teeth gets in here, and that's where it's going to pretty much self-destruct the transmission. He's going to be lucky to finish the race with that. Alan?
All right, Tim Newman running 8th right now. Joey Logano has chosen the outside lane for the restart as the leader in the 20 car after some debate.
If you take the outside, you're going to have a better run off the corner, but he's just going to sail it off in there, and you take the chance on him clearing you before you even get to the center, you know? I know it. All right, I'll go to the bottom. Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
So the green flag flies. We'll find out if it works. Joey gets a great jump on Kyle Busch down into 1. 4 laps away from halfway in the final race of 2009 in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Carl Edwards on the high side, getting to pass Jeff Burton. Now Burton's coming back underneath him. That battle for 3rd. Here comes Newman. Once Newman gets to high gear, he's okay, but he restarted in 8th. And here comes Kyle back. So great action here. Several spots all over the racetrack. Down into 1. Kyle on the low side. Joey. And here comes Carl taking advantage of that 20-degree banking.
Yeah, he's trying to keep that thing wound up. And he's also got some clean air up there as these guys are racing on the bottom, so that gets the nose of the car stuck a little bit better for him. Here comes Jeff Burton back to the inside.
And Burton has been able to run down low all evening long once we got past that first caution. And there he is, back slotted into 3rd. But here we go, nose to tail with your top 5. Logano, Busch, Burton, Edwards, and Newman.
Look at this, how they all spread out when they get to the corner. Everybody choosing their line. What great racing this is.
Looks like they're flying in formation.
Now all line up on the straightaway if there's room. Looks like everybody tucks in. Carl Edwards now looking to the bottom.
Carl's going to try that low line, force Burton up high. He takes it deep into the corner. Not only does he get past Burton here, he took a peek underneath the 18.
Here comes Burton back to the inside, though. He gets his run.
Yeah, Jeff wants that low line. His car works better down there. Here he goes. Oh, this is great. This is so much fun. What a great way to end the year. Vince, what's going on down there?
Well, the 60 of Carl Edwards, you know, he's had his problems. He had that valence issue. They came in, they fixed that. Carl said, hey, let's go to the back and get it taken care of. I can come back through the field. He's done just that. They made an air pressure and a track bar adjustment on that last stop, and Carl, it didn't take long for him to realize he liked it. He said, this is really good. We're going to go with this one. So Carl Edwards on the move, especially the clean air, guys, as you've addressed in the booth. A lot of guys handle cars handling a lot better when they get that clean air on the nose.
Well, it shouldn't surprise us. He was falling back all the way to 38th, and here he is 4th. He's won 3 times this year, starting in the rear of the field. So it doesn't surprise us anymore, as here he is. There he is, right on the back bumper of the 29.
Yeah, you could hear he had to squeeze out of the throttle just a little bit there as Burton slid up in front, but here he's battling back on the outside.
We're going to have him 4 wide here in a minute.
Oh, what great racing.
Look here, look at this 18 sneaking up on the outside.
Guess what, folks? We're halfway. We got another 100 laps of this great stuff going on, and Kyle has got the high line.
In the middle, look at Carl.
And all of a sudden, Joey loses 2 spots, maybe more.
Yeah, Joey had reported earlier he was loose, and you get somebody on that outside of your car, that makes you even looser yet.
He just went from 1st to 4th in about 2.5 corners.
How about Carl Edwards just driving to the front?
All the way from a 38th position that he fell back to. Here he is in 2nd, knocking on the door for the race lead. We've had a total of 6 different leaders, 11 lead changes so far, and we still have 98 laps to go. Let's check in on Ryan Newman and see how he is doing. He has moved up to 4th on the racetrack. Remember, he restarted 8th, and he's got no first gear. He is hoping that as few pit stops as possible right now.
Man, Logano's car just really went away in a hurry right there.
Well, it's just not right now for this situation. I don't think Joey's going to push the issue. Where he's the best is when it comes down to the end. These two guys still racing for the lead, Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch.
Well, Carl won here last year. In fact, he swept the weekend, winning the Sprint Cup race the next day. And right now, he's underneath the 18, and this is all he can do. He knows he cannot win the championship. That's already been decided, but he could say one more time, and remember...
Settle in here, you'll leave them.
Settle in and you'll leave him. Interesting comment.
Yeah, just behind these two cars, see Scott Speed in the 99 car now, just trying to get his car into the picture.
Yeah, he's done a great job in this Michael Waltrip car all year long when he's had a chance. It's given him some great experience of racing with these guys.
Well, Scott Speed's had top 10 finishes in 6 of his last 7 races.
Starting on the front row for tomorrow's race.
Shannon, what's the latest from pit road?
Well, Scott Speed is saying that the car is a little bit tight, especially when he tries to go up high and use that high line. But like you said, great season for Scott Speed in this nationwide series. He's had 12 starts. 7 of those have been top 10. Jerry Baxter, crew chief, loves working with Scott Speed. This is his first start in Homestead, and right now he's having a great race tonight.
Look at this 3-wide action on the left side of your screen. That's Brad Keselowski, Eric Darnell, and Mike Bliss. And then Stephen Wallace right behind that trio.
We have racing everywhere here. This is great stuff.
Keselowski clears the other 2 cars, and that puts him into the 10th position. Darnell 11th.
Whoa, saw Stephen Wallace try to stick his nose just on the outside of Mike Bliss. Thought better of it there.
Bliss trying to run that low line. Keselowski up high. Now Bliss pulls into line. Let's go back up front because the lead is still, well, a little bit further now as Edwards has opened up a 6/10 of a second lead over Jeff Burton. And then Kyle Busch right behind in 3rd. The race leaders are coming right at you down the backstretch at Homestead-Miami Speedway as we are now working lap 110 of 200. And it is Carl Edwards, Jeff Burton, Kyle Busch, that top 3. And as we take a look at our Holiday Inn race summary, we've had a total of 6 leaders, 13 lean changes, and our average speed is now 120 plus some change. 25 cars on the lead lap right now. We've had 19 laps under caution during those 5 caution periods. And of course, Kyle Busch, as soon as he started the race, was crowned our new Nationwide Series champion. And there he is, our in-race reporter, running 3rd. And in fact, if he stays in that 3rd position, he can fall back as far as 4th. And he would break his 8th record of the year by scoring more points than has ever been scored in Nationwide Series history. And that may be a mark. I mean, that's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, he said a lot that's going to be tough to beat. I can tell you, it's just a phenomenal season he's had.
So while he's got his hands full right now, he's 1.6 seconds behind our race leaders. You look from high above in the Goodyear blimp, and that's what it looks like. They're the first 3. Looking down the backstretch, that's Carl at the bottom of the screen, Jeff Burton 2nd, and Kyle Busch 3rd. That's the gap. And it's been amazing, the ebb and flow of this race. Burton started out the race falling back, then he took control of the race, and now all of a sudden, Carl, after getting the valence fixed, falling back to 38th, he's come back to the front.
Yeah, and then we saw Joey Logano actually get out front. Looked like he was going to be the dominant car, and now we look and he's running 4th.
So there has been some definite storylines that nobody, I don't think, expected this to happen as the race progressed. But it has been interesting and exciting, and in fact, we've even had the incident that got Denny Hamlin a lap down. He is now back on the lead lap. In fact, is now running 16th on the racetrack.
And look at Carl fight this car. That's got to be tough to run that close to the wall, Dale, and have to fight the car that much.
Yeah, you just have to be up on the wheel so much right there because any little slip, we can see Carl, watch his hands. He's just really fighting this thing through here. He's getting himself a little extra room right there. When you get your car to turn a little bit and you can drive a little straighter off, it gives you a little extra room.
Well, since the race has settled down, it's a great time for us to get you up to speed with Nationwide Insurance. And Vince, you're up, buddy.
Well, you saw Carl Edwards fighting it, but he has certainly not complained about the race car. In fact, he spoke highly of that last adjustment. It's driving as well as it's driven throughout the course of the night. Remember, this was an important race for this team. They're the defending race winner, trying to go out on a victory. They had hoped to win the championship, fell short of that goal, working with a new crew chief and Mike Kelly, just their 3rd race together. Kelly's still auditioning, so a lot riding on this race for Carl Edwards and this team. So far, so good for the 60. Jamie?
Well, Vince, 1 year ago, this very racetrack, this 29 team, actually back then they were the number 2 team. Same crew chief, Dan Deeringhoff. They were going for the championship with Clint Boyer. They were on the edge. They had to make their marks perfect to win the championship. You see Dan on the right. So now they have nothing to lose. They're here just to win. What a relief. You see Dan just sitting back and enjoying the night. Right now, he just needs grip. Dave?
The 18 bunch as well, Jamie, didn't have anything to lose. They had the championship locked up when Kyle started the race. So Jason Ratcliffe told me this morning, you know, we even joked about trading jobs. They wanted me to go over the wall as a tire changer. Somebody else was going to be the crew chief for this. And then we thought, nah, that'd be fun, but what would be the best way to celebrate? Maybe coming here and dominating. Well, they haven't been able to do that. I don't think they're going to be switching jobs, but the idea was that do what we do, and they're trying to get this 18 car righted to do that, Vince.
Well, and running fourth is Joey Logano, also out of the Gibbs camp, and he has a recent change at crew chief as well, because his former crew chief, Dave Rogers, on that 20 car is now Kyle Busch's crew chief on the Cup side. So Doug Hewitt handling the call for Logano. Just their second race working together this season. So they're really going off what Joey learned last year. Now, last year they started too tight at the beginning of the race, and it cost them because they were way too tight late in the race. They started much freer today, and even though he says it's a little tight right now, it's been a good run so far for Joey Logano. Now, the 33 of Ryan Newman, this is a brand new car for KHI, Kevin Harvick. They continue to make strides in this nationwide program. Of course, KHI won the driver and owner titles in the Camping World Truck Series. They won twice in the Nationwide Series. Harvick ran second himself last week at Phoenix, and it's another good run for the 33 today as Ryan Newman is in the top 5. Shannon?
Yeah, Vince, it's also a great run for Scott Speed in the 99 car. Told you earlier, this is his first nationwide start here at Homestead, working with Jerry Baxter in this 99 car. This car will go to young Trevor Bayne next season, but these guys definitely want to end it on a high note. They really like working with Scott. Right now, they've just got to work on that tight car condition. You know that they'll come down pit road and make it work next time. For David Rudiman in that 32 car, right next to Scott Speed, looking to make the move to go around him. David says he just can't make the car do anything he wants it to do right now. He said the car is very bad getting into the turn. Now, they were hoping when the sun went down, this car would start to come to him. The sun is down, and the car has not come just yet. Now, Jason Leffler also in that party right now. He's finished third in 2 of the last 3 races. That did not include last week. It was a 27th place finish last week. Currently in the top 5. This team would love to go out with a bang here in Homestead. Jason loves this racetrack. He's so excited to be with this team, and they hope to get it done here in Homestead this evening. Jamie?
Matt Kenseth behind him in the 16 car, running 9th right now, but he said on that last pit stop, they decided, no, we're not going to make any changes. Let's just put 4 tires on and try to see if it gets better. Matt said that was not the right thing. He said with all the dirty air out there, this car is not performing like it was. They should have made a change, and they put scuffs on, and he doesn't like those either, Dave.
10th place going to Brad Keselowski, getting pressure from Eric Darnell. Right now, his car feels like there's oil on the right rear. It's that loose. They wanted to come out of here with a top 10 at least. They haven't finished worse than that or outside the top 10 since Chicago in July, trying to keep that streak alive. Marty?
And Eric Darnell is in 11th, trying to put a little pressure on Brad Keselowski, and he's right up on him.
I'll tell you, there's something wrong with Keselowski's car because he had run down Matt Kenseth, and I believe he's gotten that right rear tire maybe worn completely out from trying to work his way back up because he's lost a lot of ground here in the last few laps.
Yeah, we saw him earlier in the run strike out pretty fast as the tires were fresh, and then his car really fell off late in the run, so it looks like he's doing the same thing.
Well, a total of 25 cars still on the lead lap. 9 cars are out of this race. There's your top 5, and we still have 78 laps to go. Carl Edwards out in front by half a second. Working lap number 128 here at the Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Carl Edwards now has a 4/10 of a second lead. Let's listen in on his radio.
Pretty fun racing right there.
He's having fun. I think that was back when he was slicing and dicing his way to the lead.
When they were 3 and 4 wide for the lead, and he's the one that came out on top.
Well, Kyle Busch is in 2nd place. Now 3rd place, I should say. Jeff Burton in 2nd.
Why is this the 60's best track?
but they have done it here. And Carl won here last year and is leading right now. And Kyle's right, though. He's been the top performer on the mile-and-a-half tracks with 3 wins and 8 top 5s in 9 races. Carl's third on that list with 2 top 5s, no wins in 9 races.
You know what I think is funny about that? That's Kyle talking under green. Yeah, that wasn't under caution. You could hear the engine running. I mean, he's talking about this just driving around under green.
And we'd get back to him under caution or something, let him know if we knew. But it is amazing how Roush and their whole organization, both the Cup Series and Nationwide, have such a phenomenal record here.
How about Todd Brown's team? There is Jason Leffler and the 32 of Rudeman right behind him there. And let's take it back just a little bit earlier, and this will make an owner get a few gray hairs.
Easy. Whoa. Close call.
And then this is the same lap, just a little bit later.
That's the old slide job.
Yikes.
Well, and when
that
you're
was close.
And when you've run as many midget races as Leffler has, you know that slide move.
He had a bigger car to put that in. That was a hole for his midget car, and he made it for a stock car.
Well, on board with Jason. He is solidly in the 4th position in the points this year. The only thing missing, as was pointed out earlier when we were going through the field, is that he just has not been able to find victory lane this season.
No, he hasn't, but a great run here tonight, up in that 6th spot right now, moving forward, going the right direction.
He is 10.9 seconds right now behind race leader Carl Edwards, running in that 6th position with David Rudeman right behind him.
Yeah, we're coming up on green flag pit stops here before too long. 8-10 laps or so.
Yeah, and they'll do something a little different, something they haven't ever done. They've always had to use the access road coming in off as you go into turn 3 to make their way to pit road. NASCAR's changed the rules. They'll be allowed to come off of turn 4 right to pit road.
And I want to preclude that, get you ready, because when we came here for the IndyCar races over the past few years, people like Tony Kanaan, Danica Patrick, using that same pit entrance, spun out, crashed, put themselves out of the race. It might happen again. Stay with us.
New leader as we approach the 3/4 mark, and green flag pit stops in the Ford 300. Jeff Burton has just gone by Carl Edwards a minute ago from the pit studio with Rusty, Brad, and Ray, watching how Burton whistled on by Edwards.
I'll tell you, Burton has just got a fast car. I've been looking at his lap times, guys.
Inside. You just got to run off the corner.
And he is just solid all throughout the night. This last 25 laps have been really the fastest car on the track.
Just shooting him out back.
So Jeff Burton back out in front, and our aerial coverage from South Florida tonight, provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. Man, what a beautiful night it would be to be up in that blimp, too. Going to be a beautiful day to be up in the blimp or in the grandstands or in front of the TV tomorrow, for that matter, as we conclude the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. We'll have a full day of coverage for you, including our special AutoZone Sports Center. It's a Sports Center at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship, presented by AutoZone, 1 Eastern on ESPN2, leading right to our coverage of the Ford 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. That begins with NASCAR Countdown on ABC at 2:30 Eastern Time. We'll have NASCAR Nows at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., including visits with the champion on the 10 p.m. Eastern show, and a full day of coverage as we conclude the NASCAR season tomorrow on the ESPN family of networks. As we approach the 3/4 mark of this race, just joining us, a little quick recap of some events of the day. Remember last week at Phoenix, Denny Hamlin said he would pay back Brad Keselowski. He did.
He did. He got into him, sent him for a little ride, spun him around. Looked like Brad was just a little bit loose coming off the corner, and Denny didn't mind obliging to help him around.
He had to oblige a 1-lap penalty for rough driving by the NASCAR officials, and how about that? They started together, they're running back together on the track again.
It's funny when stuff like that happens. It just seems like you just can't keep those guys apart, but Danny did what he said he was going to do.
Keselowski running in 11th now, Hamlin 12th after getting a free pass and recovering from that lap penalty. And as we come up on some green flag pit stops, let's head back upstairs to Marty, DJ, and Andy. And Andy, I'm figuring around 145 or so for some of these leaders.
Yeah, I'd expect him any lap now, Alan. We've seen Jason Leffler. He was running up in the top 10. He came in, made his stop just a little bit earlier than some of these other leaders, but I expect him in soon.
And he has fallen back to 23rd. Let's also update you on Eric Darnell. He brushed the wall. He has gone 3 laps down in 32nd. And look who's together again. The 88 and 11.
when you have things like this going on, it's just crazy in this business. You always find yourself right around.
All right, Kyle Busch has come into pit road for what should be his final stop. Dave?
He says, I am maxed out on grip. I am both tight and loose. You see the tire carrier on the front. He's carrying a piece of tape around in his mouth that he's going to slap on that car to get a little more downforce in it before they leave. They'll take on 4 fresh tires and air pressure adjustment. There goes the tape, and I think it's going to stick.
Well, either that or he was going to be going for a ride pretty soon. That was close. Jeff Burton, our race leader, still out there, leading Carl Edwards by 2 seconds. Here comes Joey Logano. He peels off from 3rd. Shannon, let's check in with you first.
David Rudiman says, help me with this car. It will not turn in the center. You see that chassis adjustment going on. 4 tires for the 32 of David Rudiman, looking for a great finish with his Braun Racing team. The last race of the year, guys. Who can get it done? Vince.
Taking a look at the 20 of Joey Logano. Remember, he was on the pole here last year, but finished 10. The car is a little tight in the center, making 4 tires, 4-tire change. Sunoco fuel as well. Likes the car in clean air, but it's not so good in traffic. Jamie?
And Jeff, our leader, wants to pit now as well, but Matt Kenseth is 16. He has just not been happy. Remember, last pit stop, they did not make any adjustments. Looking to make track bar, air pressure, and 4 tires, fill it up with Sunoco fuel, see if he can get this car to come to life. And he's a rash driver. You guys have been talking about him. We'll see what he can do, Vince.
The 33 car of Ryan Newman, tight from the middle off. He says it gets tight one lap and then loose the next. It's weird, to quote Ryan Newman. The team's going to push the car after the stop because he's leaving in 2nd gear. Remember, he lost 1st gear last stop. Jamie?
And Jeff Burton was your leader when he peeled in. He said he's just lacking overall grip, air pressure adjustment. They work on the right side, go to the left side, track bar adjustment, fill it up as well, see if they can bring this car back to life and keep going in the right direction. It's been very solid tonight for Jeff Burton. Shannon?
Scott Speed in the 99 car has been reporting a vibration for about the past 15 laps. They're going to take 4 tires of fuel. Oh, he's having a hard time getting off pit road, guys. They're going to push it down. This is such a bad race for Scott Speed, who's having such a great run. Dave.
Brad Keselowski got track bar and wedge. You see the bright green car leaving pit road now. Before this, he was running in the 12th position. And they got a track bar wedge adjustment for a very loose race car. Vince?
The 60 of Carl Edwards. Remember, crew chief Mike Kelly still learning Carl's needs and wants in regards to the feel of the race car. They're having a problem getting the tear off the front of the car. 4-tire change. They're also going to make a wedge adjustment, a little tight in the center. Dave?
Chassis adjustment for Jason, for the 12 car of Justin Allgaier, really tight in the center of the corner. That's been his problem, running back in the 18th position. So going for Rookie of the Year, but not having the kind of night he is looking for, he leaves pit road.
The leader is Stephen Wallace, who has not made his stop yet, as he is ahead of Mike Bliss. Bliss also on the track. There is Stephen. What was amazing about those pit stops, and there he is waving, he's coming in. Jeff Burton, a 20-second stop. Carl Edwards, a 17-second stop. What's going on?
It looks like nobody wants to win this race. Both the leaders having bad pit stops.
We're going to have to wait
Time to step it up.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait to see how this all shakes out. You see how hard that dropping down onto the flat area off the apron, as here comes Bliss along with Wallace. This will be their final stops, and that means Denny Hamlin is going to inherit the race lead. It'll be the #1 coming in, and let's go over the wall with our rear tire carrier, David Smith-Tilley. There's the 66 as well, as they're finishing up and waiting for fuel. And this is turning into a long stop.
Must be having trouble getting fuel in the car.
They're just trying to get enough in there to make sure, get it all filled up, make sure they got enough to get to the end, possibly.
We have 51 laps to go here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. So some lengthy pit stops. Denny Hamlin, Brendan Gaughan, Wimmer has not made their stops yet. They're running 1, 2, and 3. And we're being told that the 1 car of Mike Bliss is going to have a pass-through penalty. Now let's take a look. There's the tire rolling away. Oh, man. Oh, boy. And remember, Bliss is fighting for that 5th and final spot.
This is going to be very costly right
Straight
here.
through, Mike. Straight through. No stopping.
Yeah, it's going to put him a lap down.
If not 2. Let's go back to the 66 pit stop and see what happened.
Yeah, it's not. It only takes about 12, 13 seconds, maybe even less, to put a full tank of fuel in these cars. You see, they're making a chassis adjustment. See the gas men there. There's no second can to the car yet. They were waiting on that second can. You can see that was just a little miscue getting that car filled up with fuel, and that's what cost them so much time.
So Denny Hamlin, Brendan Gaughan still have not made their pit stop. So until we cycle through, we'll have to wait and see who ends up benefiting the most out of this. There is your race leader. Remember, he was penalized the 1 lap for the contact with the 88 of Brad Keselowski. That's Tony Raines right behind him. Raines not on the lead. Pardon me, he just went a lap down in 13th position. It is Denny Hamlin, Brendan Gaughan, and Scott Wimmer. Those are the 3 that have yet to pit. And then it will be Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards, 4th and 5th. So despite the 20-second pit stop, it looks like Jeff Burton, when it all cycles through, is going to inherit the race lead again.
Yeah, these are cars that made a pit stop after they had run about 10 or 12 laps under green. So they had a few extra laps cushion. They're going to run it on out here and see if they can catch a caution.
Yeah, and actually, Carl Edwards came out in front of Jeff Burton, but since they came back on the track, Jeff Burton has motored right on by and back in front of Carl Edwards.
And there is the difference between the 2 of them on the racetrack. And Brendan Gaughan has peeled off as he is into pit road for what should be his final stop. Vince?
Well, there was a time in this race where they were not happy with the race car at all. It was mean loose for Brendan Gaughan, but right now the car is actually pretty good. It's a little bit tight in the middle, so they're going to make an air pressure adjustment to try to help him with that. Otherwise, just 4 tires and fuel, no chassis adjustment on the 62 for Brendan Gaughan. They're pretty happy with the way the car has run so far. It's been a clean night for Brendan now that they've got it underneath him.
And we'll wait to see where he shakes back out. We can tell you Justin Allgaier right now is in 21st position. And that, of course, the all-important race for Rookie of the Year. Here comes Scott Wimmer as he now peels off. So only Denny Hamlin is still out on the track, leading at this moment. And let's check in with Jamie Little.
Scott Wimmer, he's had an impressive run tonight. Started 35th. When they started the race, he said the car was great. They didn't adjust on it at all. We'll see if they're going to make any adjustments. He said it's pretty good. They're going to put 4 tires, fill it up with Sunoco fuel, run around to the left side. Scott had a pretty decent run in this car. It's limited budget, you guys. Great driver, and it's been solid. And tear up on the front, no adjustment, Shannon.
Denny Hamlin is saying that the car is a little bit tight. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires. Paul Wolf, crew chief for this team. This is his last race with CJM. He will be leaving at the end of the year. Guys?
So it's Denny Hamlin comes back out on the racetrack. Remember that penalty that Mike Bliss just took? He has dropped out of the 5th position. It is now, right now, as they run, Justin Allgaier by 1 point. It's not over yet. And Justin Allgaier shown in 19th position. Bliss was 10th on the track before the pit stops started.
Yeah, he had about a 32-point cushion before they made that error on pit road, so very costly to Mike Bliss.
So the battle for that final spot at the banquet Monday night over on Miami Beach still up for grabs. Does the rookie Justin Allgaier get it, or the 44-year-old veteran Mike Bliss? Now the Rookie of the Year, 62, is Brendan Gaughan, ahead of Justin Allgaier. That is 19th and 20th on the racetrack, both cars a lap down. And there's your race leader right in front of him, Jeff Burton. And the 4th car in that line is 2nd place, Carl Edwards. So we're heading towards the home stretch. 43 laps to go. Who's going to win it? Stay with us and find out. From high above on the Goodyear blimp looking down here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, we are under our 6th caution. Eric Darnell brushed the wall again and had some debris, so that is why we are under this caution. Let's go back and show you exactly what happened, as Eric had a great night going and brushed the wall earlier, and then here we go again.
You can see just as he tried to pick up the throttle, he couldn't get the nose to stick.
And he is now 2 laps down. Now watch under this caution. Keep an eye on the 29 and then the 60 of Carl Edwards. Looks like Carl's going to come down. He ducks down. Is Burton going to come? Yes, he is. Here comes Kyle Busch, and then all of a sudden...
Yep, there comes Carl Edwards back on the track.
So we're going to find out who benefits, because Carl is now on tires that are 13 laps older. Now, Mike Wallace is in this mix because he got the break. He was running fourth. He had not made his stop, so he's still on the lead lap. Here's Kyle and Jeff.
Yeah, see, Jeff Burton beats all these cars off of pit road. Now he'll be the first car with fresh tires. I like this move by Jeff Burton. If this race goes green, which has had a kind of a green feel to it all night, if it goes green, it looks like he'll have the advantage over Carl Edwards.
Well, while we've got a moment, let's check into the pit studio. Alan, what's cooking?
Well, our Verizon Wireless Race Rundown. Catch up on what's been happening through the first 3 quarters of this one, Marty. Kyle Busch clinched the championship just by taking the green flag in the 5th position at the start of this race, so he'll get the championship trophy at the end of the afternoon. Kyle's spent some time out in front, but his day's been reasonably calm by Kyle's standards. Some of these other guys, though, it hasn't been all that calm.
Brad Keselowski just got off to a tough start. Actually spun earlier by himself, got into the fence, thought the motor had possibly blown, but just had a difficult time getting his wheels up.
And as he's trying to figure out why his engine's not running, he's looking for some help.
I think the motor blew going into the corner. Got the red light out on the dash.
Look at the red light on the dash. There you go.
Problem solved.
Fire in the hole.
Always good to get that good advice. So then his problems weren't solo the next time around, huh?
Well, Denny said that he was going to maybe park him, and he didn't actually park him, but he did send him spinning, and I don't think NASCAR was extremely happy about that. They put Denny in the pits in the penalty box for 1 lap.
He's since come back onto the lead lap and is one of the guys who didn't pit under this caution. Carl Edwards had some troubles early, hit a piece of debris or something on the track.
Yeah, hit a piece of debris, and it looks like he caved in an air dam. They put another piece on there, and actually, guys, I think it's helped the car. It looks like the nose has got a little more angle, and this car has been handling great ever since.
Went all the way back to 34th place, came all the way back up to lead this race. Nice little through-the-middle 3-wide move there to get out front. And Edwards now, after not pitting under this caution, is going to have the race lead for this restart that's going to come with 38 laps to go. Carl talking about things with his team.
Let's hope for a caution in about 20 laps. We'll be pretty good, huh? I think you'll be fine from here on in if it goes green. All right, yeah, it'll be close. We'll see what happens here. Nobody else says none of those leaders have an extra set, do they? Nope. All right, we'll be all right here. We may get a caution. If we get a caution, we're going to be great.
All right, so 5 guys didn't pit under that caution. Edwards, Logano, Kenseth, Stephen Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Jeff Burton, first with fresh tires outside of row number 3 and 6th. What do you think? Good call or bad call to not pit?
I think it's a good call not to pit. These cars, I've been watching the lap times. They've been running faster and faster, it seems like, as they burn the fuel off. It looks like everybody's cars are starting to handle better as the fuel burns off. So probably not a bad call. Might pay for it, but the first 5 laps, then I think it'll settle in.
I think it was the wrong call. I think the guys with the tires are going to win the race. I think it's going to go green. And even if there's a caution like Carl wants, I don't think there's going to be enough time for him to come through with that many cars on the lead lap.
38 laps to go. Let's see what happens, gentlemen.
Last set of tires on that 29 car, and it will be Edwards, Logano, Kenseth, Stephen Wallace, Denny Hamlin. As we go back to green flag racing here at Homestead in the final race of 2009.
Yeah, I personally think Carl's only choice is see Kyle Busch to the high side.
And look at Burton. Wallace got way loose. He's going backwards.
Yeah, I think Carl's only hope is these guys get caught up in some traffic there, because I believe they're going to run him down with those fresh tires. They're so much faster for a few laps.
Burton's already to 3rd. He's got that high line. He likes the bottom of the racetrack. At least he has all night. Here comes Kyle side by side with him. They get past Kenseth easily.
Kyle knows he has to go now. His car isn't as good on the long run as Jeff Burton, so he's got to make some time right now.
On board with Joey Logano. He's running in 2nd place right now. At least, well, he was running in 2nd place, because here comes Kyle.
Yeah, you can see him 3 wide right behind him.
Burton's got the high line. There's Denny Hamlin. Matt Kenseth. Here comes Newman on the high side to get in the mix as well.
Yeah, Kenseth couldn't get back in the gas seat. Denny Hamlin sliding his car off the corner.
And they form a single file line, so it's Edwards, Busch, Logano, Burton, Hamlin, Newman. That's your top 6. Ludeman's going to take a peek underneath the 16. Not going to have a chance at it. How about the battle for the race lead? Here we go. We could head, yep, we've just tied for 19th lead change. That's as many as we've had ever here in the Nationwide Series at Homestead-Miami as Busch goes around Carl Edwards.
Now, for Carl Edwards, he's hoping for a caution with about 20 laps to go or so, where he can use his last set of tires against these guys, and they won't have any. That's really his only chance right now.
The only problem is he's going to have a lot of other cars that are going to have to stay out there, too, because they don't have it, so he's got a lot more cars to pass than what these guys did.
Kyle Busch, your 2009 champion, pulling away. A little further back, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, they're going side by side. That is for position 4th on the racetrack. Hamlin's got the low line working this time, clears him easily. And Jeff Burton has gotten around Carl Edwards for 2nd.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Burton's saying, okay, if this thing goes green, I've got these boys right here because my car just doesn't slow down quite as much as these other guys.
The only thing that might throw a wrench in that deal is that they may have adjusted on Kyle's car a little bit here. They've been working on it all night long trying to get it right. If they've made the right adjustment that last stop, they might have something for Jeff Burton.
That radio we had just a few moments ago was Kyle saying, hey, good call, guys, for taking the tires. There's Scott Speed and Brad Keselowski. That is for position as well. That's 8th on the track.
Yeah, Brad's made a pretty nice night out of this after a pretty eventful start to this race. In the first 35 laps, he had been spun around, or he had spun around twice. Once on his own and once with a little help.
David Rudiman alongside of Newman and Ryan. Remember, he has no first gear, but it doesn't bother him once he gets up to speed.
Yeah, he doesn't need first gear right now. He's got it in 4th and digging.
You know, you were talking about needing one more caution. Since 2003, the first race on this configuration, there has been at least one caution in the last 30 laps. So maybe Carl Edwards' history will come into play there and may help him. The battle for 3rd right now as Denny Hamlin is side by side with Carl Edwards. Now Edwards gets a little bit of room.
Well, now Denny Hamlin did not make a pit stop under that caution, but he was one of the cars that stayed out real late in that round of green flag stop. So his tires are fresher than Carl Edwards right now.
Yeah, probably at least 10, 12 laps at least that he's got.
Yeah, Denny pitted on lap 155. Carl pitted on lap 146. So that gives you an idea just how fresh Denny's tires are compared to Carl's. Kyle Busch right now not only celebrating a championship, but might be celebrating his 9th win of the year in the Nationwide Series if he can hold on. ESPN's Monday Night Football continues in Houston. It's the Tennessee Titans against the Houston Texans. Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins. Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And looking down from high above, the Goodyear blimp. That's our aerial coverage. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. Well, we've had a record-setting 20 lead changes between 8 different drivers, and right now it is our 2009 Nationwide Series champion Kyle Busch that has opened up a 1.4-second lead. And during the break, as you watch Joey Logano and Ryan Newman go after 5th place side by side, the debate between my 2 stellar cohorts was Kyle Busch or Jeff Burton, and we have a bit of a disagreement up here. Go ahead.
Well, not really. We look like that 18 car might just have what it takes to beat Burton. Dale says no.
No, I think Jeff Burton, I think things have changed here. We've seen over about the last 4 or 5 laps that Jeff Burton is about a half a tenth to a tenth a lap quicker. So he's coming. I think he's got just enough time to get there and make the pass, and if it stays green.
And I agree with Dale on this one, because we have seen this twice by Jeff tonight. When we have long runs, he has been the car.
Marty, have I ever told you I love those speeds at the line?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at him here. Let's see if Jeff Burton really is catching Kyle Busch. Or maybe somebody else coming from behind.
Could be. Carl's hanging on actually better than I thought he might, so he's not too far behind.
It looks like Kyle Busch has got him this lap.
See what that was. Yeah, that was about a tenth of a second, actually.
Carl Edwards 3rd. And there you see on down through our 11th.
I guess that's why those guys running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, aren't they?
Maybe. We're going to check it. Let's check it again this next lap and see. Burton has been chipping away a little bit at him. I'll have to give it to you, Dale. He looks like once they run a few laps here now, it does kind of switch over, and Burton does have a little better car.
Yeah, and I really wondered if Kyle was trying to get out there as far, if he ran the car a little too hard and the tires might give up even a little bit more than what they have.
Okay, there's your man coming now.
Yeah, let's see. Got that 10th back. Jamie?
Well, you guys, just a few laps ago, Jeff Burton came on the radio and said, did you guys change anything on this car? And they said, nope, just put tires on it, keep plugging away. So he, too, is just as surprised that Kyle Busch is just that fast this stint.
Well, we still have
surprised.
Yeah, what he doesn't know is what did they do to Kyle's car.
Yeah.
Well, and he is the champion, isn't he?
And we still have 21 laps to go this time by on the Ford 300 from Homestead-Miami. Kyle Busch in front, but will it stay that way? $18 laps to go here in the nationwide race. Tomorrow, though, you still have one more chance to win the $10,000 with the Pick 12 Challenge. Correctly order how all 12 championship drivers will finish relative to one another in this final Cup race. Submit your answer. Go to ESPN.com, pick 12. Closest entry could win $10,000, and the winner will be contacted, and the results will be posted on ESPN.com/pick12. Well, while we were in the break, Jeff Burton got on the radio, and he has slipped back to 2.1 seconds behind Kyle Busch. Let's listen to what Jeff is saying.
Going crazy loose now, getting in the corner. Spit it out now.
Oh, that's no fun, especially when you're trying to run a guy down.
He's a 95, you're 75.
Well, we may have a caution because the 38 of Jason Leffler has brushed the wall, and yes, the caution light will come on here with 16 laps to go. So Leffler, who was running 10th at the time, looking for his first win, isn't going to get it.
Okay, Carl Edwards has a set of tires. Will he use them? He's running third. This is going to be a big question right here, whether he'll do that. There are 18 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, but there's enough laps, I think. I mean, crew chief, you're the guy. Make the call.
Yeah, I think that's what they were playing for. So
Yeah,
that's what they set up for. But how many cars are going to stay out there? It's going to put, how far back is it going to put him?
Let's see what happens with Leffler. He's alongside the 88 of Keselowski. Clears him, and then...
Yeah, but he
Whoops.
cleared him.
Whoa, look like there might have been something on the track right there. You see Brad Keselowski kind of out of shape there, too.
And well, Matt Kenseth is sideways trying to avoid these two.
Yeah.
Let's go on board with the 88. Boy, he did wiggle.
Hello, come on slow. All clear.
Could have just been the reaction. You see somebody in front of you spin, so. But it really looked like there could have been something on the track right there. Ouch.
Keep digging there. Got in the wall pretty hard there. Clear right here. Caution's out. Caution.
Remember we told you about Mike Bliss and the fact that the fifth and final spot was still up for grabs. He is going to get the lucky dog, and he had gotten around Justin Allgaier, so he is now back in to fifth position, so we can update that story for you. All right, so who is going to come?
We have about 12 left when we go, 10. They only live once. Let's get some tires, see if we can win. Pit road.
And he did, as you saw. So Kyle Busch, our race leader, stayed out.
So it's going to be fun to watch. See if he can make it up through there.
Let's check in with Vince Welch.
Well, guys, they debated long and hard on that 60 between crew chief Mike Kelly and Carl Edwards in regards to where they were going to have to restart this race. They talked about where Carl was in relation to Brad Keselowski as they battle for second place in points. But ultimately, it came down to the fact that they were not going to have a chance to win this race if they didn't come get fresh tires. So they came, they got the 4 tires. They took the wedge out that they had put in on the previous stop. Carl says, we're only going to have an opportunity to win if we come down pit lane. But he let his crew chief, his new crew chief, Mike Kelly, make the call. And Mike was firm. He said, we want to have a shot to win. Come on down pit road. Let's go for it. So that's the decision-making process. But, guys, they wrung their hands over it. But they finally decided, let's go for the win. And here they are. We'll see what happens.
That man on the right, Jack Roush. Well, you heard Kyle Busch ask why they're so good here. Well, Roush has 10 wins, 6 in Cup, 3 in Nationwide, 1 in Truck. Do they get another one tonight? We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at the Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And let's listen to the radio of Carl Edwards, who's now in 8th.
Carl, man, I apologize. I never expected them to come and get tires after only having 10 laps. I put us in a bad situation, man, but we'll be all right here. All right, 10-4. Yeah, I was pretty certain they were going to come, but you never know. You might come out here as a genius. I'm sure Jack's giving you a hard time. Won't look in his eyes. Yeah, I would.
That reference to Jack Roush right
I'll tell you,
there.
this could really work out, though. They could be celebrating when this thing is over if everything goes right for them.
He was referring back to the pit stop prior where they
Exactly,
stayed
not
out.
this one. He was talking about the last one whenever they got hung out there on the track and all the leaders pitted.
All right, coming through turn 4, DJ.
Yeah, their big break was a lot of other guys followed them down pit road, so they're only in 8th.
He's in 8th. It's Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, Scott Speed, David Rudiman, Ryan Newman, Brad Keselowski, Paul Menard, Carl Edwards. That's your top 8. And here comes the green flag. And 11 laps remain in the 2009 Nationwide Series season.
Burton got a great start right there. Kind of anticipated Kyle Busch.
Whoa, and Newman down low. 3. Whoa, they make it through the corner. Speed had no room. Down the backstretch, it is Kyle Busch in front of Jeff Burton. Look at him, 3 and 4 wide, and there's a little bumping going on back there.
Yeah, we see Kelly Byers getting a little trouble down the backstretch.
Here comes Carl. He's already getting underneath the 99 of Scott Speed. That would move him to 5th. 10 laps to go. His next target will be David Rudiman. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch is trying to open up some space between he and Jeff Burton. We have had 8 different leaders, a record-setting 20 lead changes, and look at this. And again, it's the 11 and the 88, Hamlin and Keselowski. And this time, Hamlin shoots past both he and the 99 of Scott Speed. And Brendan Gaughan on the high side.
Here comes Steve Wallace on the high side now. He's trying to go around Scott Speed.
That is for 7th on the racetrack. Keselowski right in front of Brendan Gaughan. Underneath, there's Wallace. And here comes Matt Kenseth. He wants to try and squeeze through there as well.
Steve Wallace goes to the very bottom of the racetrack trying to make it work. They're 3 wide again.
Keselowski is on the high side. Wallace is in front of him. Gaughan behind him. On the right side of your screen, you can see there is Carl Edwards. He has moved up to 3rd. He has gotten around Ryan Newman.
He's drawing a bead on those leaders up there, Carl Edwards is, and we still got him 3 wide with Keselowski and Gaughan tight off of turn 2.
He is 1.1 seconds behind the race leader, Kyle Busch, is Carl Edwards. And meanwhile, 3 wide again through the corners, as this time it's Kenseth along with Gaughan, and here comes Keselowski trying to get back underneath the 62.
Yeah, Steve Wallace is taking that 8th spot away from Scott Speed. This has worked out good for him to come get tires.
Going back to the race lead, Kyle Busch has now clinched for the 17th time this year the most laps led in the race.
Now, Carl Edwards is going to get there. He's got 7 laps. He's going to get there. His tires are coming in. It's going to be close, but he's going to get there.
Working the high side. Let's take a look at speeds at the line. Who is the fastest on the racetrack? I think we got a good idea.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Carl Edwards the fastest, and there it is. Woof. Logano second quick.
Right on down through the top 11 with Brendan Gaughan rounding it out. And we now have about 5.5 laps remaining. In trouble for the 5. It looks like he may have a tire grub and brush the wall. And is that tire going down?
Got into the wall right side, yes.
That's Kelly Byers, who will be taking over that 88 car full time next year.
Comes Carl's got a good run off of turn 4 for Jeff Burton in 2nd.
And now 5 laps remaining in the 2009 season. On board with Burton, and there goes Carl underneath.
He's got 2nd spot now. All he's got is Kyle Busch.
He's a half a second behind Busch, and here he comes.
I'll say he's got him.
Rusty Wallace said he liked this play way back when they made the other pit stop. Looks like it's going to work out.
Going to do the speeds at the line, but remember, Carl had to get around Jeff Burton, so it might be a little skewed, but we'll find out. Here comes Kyle.
4 laps left, 4.
He's still faster than Kyle Busch.
Boy, here he comes. 4 laps remaining. You heard Jason Radcliffe telling his driver pretty soon he's going to have a mirror full of the 60.
Yeah, but he's got a tough man to pass up there. If anybody can wheel this thing, Kyle Busch, we know. He's done it all year.
First and second in the championship points. I guess it is fitting that it comes down to this with now, this time by, 3 laps remaining and Carl closing.
You and him.
Kyle Busch is looking at his 20th top 2 finish of the year right here. He's just hoping that it's 9 wins in 11 seconds.
Carl Edwards 2/10 quicker that lap. Here he comes.
Carl running the low line down the backstretch. 2 laps to go, next time by the stripe. The margin on the clock is 3/10 of a second.
Carl dives low. He's trying to take the shortest way around, see what kind of run he gets off the corner.
Here we go.
2 laps left.
2 to go this time. The last time the champion won the final race of the season, back in 1983. And isn't it fitting? It is Sam Ard. How many of the records has Kyle broken that were Sam's?
He's got 2 laps. He's going to have to hold off Carl Edwards. A lap and a half now. Carl's hungry.
Down into 3. So far, he's been able to hold it at about 3/10 of a second. Here comes Carl. Look at him hacksaw on the wheel. He is trying everything he can. Coming up to the white flag. The margin still 3/10 of a second. A mile and a half remains in the 2009 Nationwide Series, and first and second in the points are going to duke it out for the final win of the year. Down the backstretch, Carl is closing. Does he have anything going towards 3? I think the answer is not enough. He's coming deep. Look out, he's going to slide up. We've seen him bounce off the wall before, but it won't work this time.
Oh.
Here he comes. Kyle Busch is going to take the win. His 30th Nationwide Series win in his 173rd start and 9th of his championship winning season. What a way to cap off the 2009 campaign.
Icing on the cake.
Total of 18 cars finish on the lead lap. That was Jason Leffler rounding out those 18. And a very happy Joe Gibbs.
Busch, congratulations.
Denny Hamlin comes alongside to offer his congratulations. And Joe leads the team in prayer.
What a leader.
Joe Gibbs, a very deeply religious man. And look at Kyle. He is celebrating.
Oh, man, that's cool.
Finished 13th last night in the Truck Series event. They got a lap down, had a penalty that the tire carrier tripped over it, and it didn't get back behind the wall quickly enough, and that cost him a chance of winning there. Kevin Harvick went on to win, but Kyle makes up for it tonight. In style.
In style, that's it. That's what he's done all year. Just phenomenal season. Records that he set this year, never be broken.
And you got to give the crew credit, too. They didn't have the car to win this race tonight until it counted right at the end. Made a critical change there at the end of the race and got the win for him.
8 records now, because remember, we said he had to finish 4th or better. He has now scored more points than anyone ever in a full season in Nationwide Series competition. And the crew is bringing the banner out to Kyle. He normally goes for the checkered flag. I think he might want that one. And just for good luck, I think he'll go get the other one as well.
He's won to me. He's gotten pretty good at catching the flags, too.
He is a lightning rod. You either love him or you don't. But you have to give him credit. He can drive a race car.
He's definitely a wheel, man. I tell you what he did right there was impressive. Holding off a guy with fresh tires like that, and Carl Edwards on top of that.
You know, he's just set another record.
You're welcome. Congratulations, you guys. Nice championship.
The champions never won the final race of the year here at Homestead till now. Just got that one just handed to me by Jimmy Hicks. And while we've got a moment waiting for Kyle to get to the celebration, this is our final race for the Nationwide Series. 150 people it takes to get us on the air. Our camera crew, audio, video, graphics, rain, wind, heat, and long hours. Thank you, everybody. And Dave has caught up with Carl Edwards,
who has climbed out of the car and who did a masterful job there at the end to try to make it happen. If you had it back, would you have done it the opposite way, pitted with everyone else? Because you did pretty well this way, too.
No, I wouldn't have changed it. That was all right. Got to thank Scott's Ortho. Save a lot forward. Ortho's made a better mousetrap, and these guys have made a better mousetrap with this Ford Fusion. That's the best we've been in a mile and a half. Just didn't have it in my heart at the end there to just spear him in turn 3. I drove in there. I just wanted to get a look at it, see how far I could go, and see if I could get to him. And I was on the fence. I know it ain't right to hit somebody to win the race, but I wanted to win this race badly. And once I got down here, I realized I was stopping right by all of his guys. It's probably a good thing that I didn't hit them, and they were really gracious, and that means a lot. Gotta say thanks to all the fans for all the support this season. That 18 team did a great job, but we've come on strong here, and I think our Fords will be good next year.
And you guys here, you in particular, and the company at this racetrack, Carl, again, very, very good.
Yeah, it's we've got something going great here. And the biggest thing I want to say is I'm just proud to represent Ford. That's America's car company. They make the best cars out there, and I'm proud to drive one. And Ortho and that mousetrap, like I said, they've been doing a good job with it. So I'm ready for Daytona, and we'll do it again next year.
All right, Carl Edwards, a great run today at the end there, giving it all he had.
All right, thanks, Dave. And Carl Edwards, a former champion, and boy, he finishes second in the points. The man who finishes third is Brad Keselowski. Vince?
A good season indeed for Brad Keselowski, finishing third in points. Not the way he wanted to end today. I'm sure, Brad, you told me this morning before this race that you wanted to go out on a high note. How would you sum up how you're going out in your last ride with the 88?
Well, I heard part of what you said, but I think that really sums it up with Kyle winning the race. Their car was just phenomenal all year. That team there, I think they didn't get enough credit for how strong they are coming into this year, and that's a pretty good team. So we put in a great effort this year. Scored enough points to win the championship in 5 out of the last 6 years, but it's just that team there was just phenomenal. So they deserve their due credit. But I wanted to finish it out and keep the top 10 streak going, but self-inflicted damage there. I lost it and tore the right rear quarter panel up, and just hurt my car and couldn't really recover from that. Nobody on my team's fault. I was just trying too hard. So wanted a stronger finish, but what you gonna do?
One of the storylines we talked about coming into this race was some of the history between yourself and Denny Hamlin, and lap 35, he put the bumper on you. Just give us your reaction to what happened.
Well, I mean, I kind of laughed in the car. I thought it was a little funny, but I don't really hold any grudges, and I'm ready to move on. I've already moved on. So hopefully he feels the same way. I don't know. I got a feeling when he wakes up in the morning that he's not going to feel any better about himself. He's got a lot of problems, and on and off the racetrack, and I don't think spinning me is going to make him happy. So that's just my take on it, and I moved on. I'm okay. I'm not going to go out and wreck him or anything like that. Just going to go out and do my own thing.
Well, we'll find out about the 11. He's with Jamie Little.
And he brings it home fifth. So Brad just said he has a feeling when you wake up in the morning you're not going to feel better about yourself. What do you think?
I feel great right now. It was well worth it. His son was bad at that point, and I'll use that as my catalyst or excuse. But the fact is, I wasn't going to give him an inch, and I thought after I went down pit road, I'd won the race. I've never seen so many crews applaud and give the thumbs up on the way by. It just shows you all the cars that he's torn up in the past. All the teams just, they feel a little redemption anyway. But we'll never be even in that sense. But I just got to thank CJM for all that they've done, giving me this opportunity to race this weekend and pay back my debts.
I know in listening to Brad Keselowski, it sounds like it's not getting across. There's no point because he's just kind of brushing it off. Do you think you're sending a message on behalf of the veteran drivers out here?
I mean, you have to listen to the stands. I've never seen so many applause and everything in my entire life. And, I think it's just everyone understands in this sport that it's a self-policing sport. NASCAR did what they had to do. They, on something deliberate like that, they got to penalize me. There's no doubt about it. So, I wasn't mad about that at all. We just, my objective today was try to win the race first and take care of him second. And, Yeah, it's going to be other days we're going to be racing, and he's still going to think about it when I'm in his rearview mirror, because obviously, the scales are tipped a little bit more in my favor, but still tipped a little bit too much.
I guess fans stay tuned because they will be competing against each other tomorrow in the Cup Series. Alan?
All right, well, Kyle Busch has driven his car down here into the staging area where they've set up the championship trophy. And here he comes to celebrate his championship in the finest style you can. Kyle celebrating with his team, a moment with his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe. His season-long rival, Carl Edwards, here for a second as well. And a personal moment. Well, Kyle, I have to be honest. I was standing here as Carl Edwards was closing on you in the final laps of that race, wondering what your emotions would be. What a finish. You're the champion. You won the race. You won the championship in. What are your emotions? What are you thinking?
It's probably been a while since that's been done. I don't mean to be selfish, but that's the way for these guys to go out. You know what? They deserve it. This whole team. All these guys that work so hard on the Z-Line Designs Camry. Man, I can't thank Toyota enough. I can't thank Z-Line. NOS Energy Drink, the Nationwide Series. Thank all the fans, not only here in Homestead, but across NASCAR's nation here. And, of course, Jim and Monica are here to help us celebrate tonight. And Marquis Jets, Gillette, and everybody that's been on part of our program this year. And, man, this is huge, and my mom and dad are here tonight. So my brother, he came up to me before the race, knowing only we had to do was take the green flag. So man, this is it's cool. I wish I could have been with Kurt in 2004, winning a championship, but this one here means a whole lot for Joe Gibbs Racing, everybody at JGR, all the guys that work so hard at building these things, not just in the Nationwide shop, but the Cup shop, the Fab shop, everybody, and Joe and JD, Steve D'Souza, Norm Miller, they're all here at Interstate Batteries, and so this is, man, this is really cool.
What were the last laps of that race like? We saw you make a 4-wide move to get toward the front. Then you had the guys coming from behind. What were they like?
It was a little nerving. You know, I knew Carl was going to be coming on fresh tires. You know, he was really fast, and I was hoping Jeff Burton could hold him up long enough in order to help burn his tires off a little bit before he got free and then chase me down. But I was just trying to hit my marks every single time. I finally found something. I couldn't find it all race long, and in the broadcast I said I can't find anything. Finally, with about 40 to go, I found something, and I just stuck to that right there and kept running in that lane, and it prevailed. It paid off for us. You know, I was able to just keep my momentum going and keep those guys behind me. So he made a bonsai there. I wasn't sure if we were going to connect or not, but man, what a close race that might have been for the fans to watch and everybody. And I'm sure it was exciting on TV, knowing Carl what he did at Kansas last year. So glad he missed us, and you know, we were able to come out on top.
Give you a couple minutes to celebrate with your team, then we'll get you up on stage and get your hands on that piece of hardware you've worked all year for.
I hear you. Thank you. These guys worked hard too.
Kyle Busch, your champion. He wins the championship, and he wins the race. And in a couple of minutes, he'll get his hands on the NASCAR Nationwide Series championship trophy. What a finish here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. A great, thrilling run to the checkered flag, and Kyle Busch doing the burnouts and celebrating a fine way to cap off a wonderful season.
Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami is brought to you by Ford. Drive one. And Verizon Wireless, America's most reliable wireless network.
Kyle Busch still doing some of the obligatory interviews and photos and so on down in front of the car. He'll be up here on stage for the championship presentation in just a minute. Let me step in here with Jason Ratcliffe for just a second, the championship crew chief. Wow, what a finish to your season, first of all. You're a champion. What are your thoughts?
It's awesome, man. I mean, I'm so proud of these guys. I'm proud of Kyle, what we've been able to accomplish this year. It's just, it's incredible. You know, back before Daytona, we set some goals, and obviously this was the biggest one. But to come out here and be able to win it on the last race, that was something that we definitely want to do. You know, if we would have came into this race and needed to finish, because of the situation that we came in, we were able to make some calls. I mean, be more aggressive, and I think that's what won the race for us tonight.
It was an amazing finish. What were you thinking through the last 30 laps of that race? You brought him in for tires, then the next caution came out. What were you thinking?
Well, we started the race pretty good in the sun, and then when the sun went down, the car just got off. We started making small adjustments, and it was going to take something big. And that last, everything played out good. We got tires, and some of the other guys didn't. But there at the end, we came through traffic so fast with the new tires with like 40 to go. I figured that the 60 and 11 and those guys would do the same thing. But clean air was everything right there, and our adjustments were enough to hold on to the end.
They certainly were. What a thrilling finish. Congratulations to you and your team. A wonderful season.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it.
Jason Ratcliffe, the championship crew chief. Let's see. Coach Gibbs is up here, and I believe the champion is on his way up here as well. Working his way up the side of the stage here. So there's this big old trophy that Kyle has been waiting to get his hands on for about 10 months now. You think about the effort that goes into securing a championship. They started the preparations for this over a year ago. Set off at Daytona in February, looking to accomplish this one goal, and now they have. And the champion's made it up here now, and it's time to let him get his hands, not quite yet, on that silver trophy. First presentation, I introduce to you the president of NASCAR, Mr. Mike Helton. Mike.
Thank you, Alan. Kyle, on behalf of all of NASCAR, congratulations. When you do it right. And I think you beat another one of Sam Ard's deals tonight by winning the last race of the championship season. So congratulations. We're proud to have you as our 2009 Nationwide Series champion. Coach Gibbs, JD, all the Gibbs organization, you guys are a class act, and we're proud to have you in NASCAR. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. And now for the official trophy presentation, I introduce John Amon, who's the Associate Vice President of Strategic Sponsorships for the series sponsor Nationwide Insurance. John, it's all yours.
Thank you. Kyle, on behalf of Nationwide, it's our pleasure to offer you this trophy. We are really proud to say that you win your first NASCAR series as a Nationwide Series winner on your record-breaking season. Have a great season as a champion. We look forward to a great year with you, and hopefully you find Nationwide is on your side.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
John, thank you. Mr. Champion, there it is. You've worked so hard to get your hands on that trophy. You're a guy that sometimes holds the cards close to the vest. What are you thinking right now that this season-long goal has been accomplished?
It has, and basically I'm just so proud to be here and in this moment with all these guys. It means so much to have Jason as a crew chief. He's a championship crew chief. He was tonight, being able to make the calls that won us the race, and that's just the icing on the cake, being able to come out here and win this race on the on the night of the last race of the season. So, it's just, I don't know what else to say. Z-Line's Designs have done a phenomenal job. Jim and Monica are here with us. NOS Energy Drink, Interstate Batteries, Joe and JD for giving me the opportunity and hiring me and stuff, and just being able to put me in this race car. I told Joe last year, I said, you know what, if we run a full season, we can win this championship. And it really means a lot, and I just hope that I can take this to the next level and be able to produce at the next series, which is the Sprint Cup Series, and obviously, hopefully bring home the biggest Mecca trophy in all of sports, and for my sports anyways. And so it's just, man, it's an unbelievable experience. I've got my mom and my dad here. My girlfriend Samantha's helping me celebrate and everything. So this is really a dream come true. It's been a dream season, a lot of records, and yet a lot of frustrations. And still, we're able to put all those together and make it here tonight.
Well earned, well deserved. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate ESPN. Thank you guys. Thank the fans again one more time, and thank Nationwide for helping support this series. It's awesome to be involved in. So thanks.
There's your 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series champion, Kyle Busch. Let's slide over here for just a second. The Gibbs family's over here. JD's pushing me towards the coach. Coach, you unified the championships this year. The drivers and owners championships stay in-house for you. What are your thoughts?
We are thrilled. Honestly, it was a great day, great night. Appreciate all the fans all year long. It's a great series. To show you how hard it is, what I was telling Kyle, that car was awesome this year, and we had to go the last weekend to win the race, so to win the championship. So I really appreciate everything. Lord bless us with a great bunch of guys, great sponsors, Jim, Z-Line, everybody that chipped in all year long, NOS at different times, and Interstate Batteries, and everybody that chipped in to help us get this. This is very, very hard to do. We appreciate it, and we appreciate everybody here helping us celebrate.
We appreciate your time and your efforts, Coach Gibbs. Congratulations on another NASCAR championship. I'm going to step out of the way because they're going to start taking some of the photos. And so the NASCAR Nationwide Series season that began back at Daytona in February concludes with an amazing finish in South Florida tonight as Kyle Busch not only wins the championship, but he wins the race in a thrilling run to the checkered flag over Carl Edwards. Don't forget, tomorrow our coverage from here includes a Sports Center special from the NASCAR Championship presented by AutoZone, 1 Eastern on ESPN, and then it's at 2:30 Eastern on ABC, our coverage of the Ford 400, and we'll see if Jimmy Johnson can make history and take home the Sprint Cup Series championship. Kyle Busch, race winner and champion for 2009 today in South Florida.
Love him or hate him, you got to respect his driving.
You know him, man. If it ain't spectacular, it ain't no fun. Thanks, guys. Woo! Yeah!
Kyle Busch will pick up his 5th checkered flag.
There we go, boys. Woo!
Rowdy Busch will win the Dollar General 300.
Is indeed smacked down the competition today. Kyle Busch is going to take the win. 9th of his championship winning season.